Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Welcome to day 2 of the finals here for the PMCO Africa. My name is James Banks and I'm one of your commentators. Joining alongside me is Moist Max. As we get to enjoy a few more games done today. you had to come Max, you know.
I deleted the button, man. I thought today was like a peace treaty and we were going to be calm and professional about it, but I guess not.
I didn't agree to that. I didn't agree to that at all, mate.
Fair enough.
But let's talk about day 1, right? Because I even just we even saw the overalls, right? 70 points up already for Slime 4KT. I just looked back again and just looked down the numbers and I was like, they really did 70 in one day. Like, they're on course to have 100, no problem today if they can just wreck face once again. And they progressively got better and they look like such a dominant team. Whatever they've been eating, whatever they've been doing, whatever type of practice they've been putting in has certainly been working out. And the fact they weren't in the groups and they had this spot in the finals already, considering they won the spring split, seems to have only benefited them, mate.
Yeah, I mean, very clearly since the spring split, they're coming into these finals as one of the big favorites. And there's many things I can touch upon, but the one thing I want to say about Slime 4KT that I think is very important to mention is that this team is good at every aspect of the game. We saw that game on Miramar where they did take the win, and it was a very slow game, playing edge and trying to take teams down one by one. And then the game right after that, where they did take home the back-to-back win, was in the middle position in Erangel. And they had to take a city finish. Those are completely two drastic differences in how you play PUBG Mobile and how you find closure to a game. And yet they took both in such dominant fashion. It goes to show that no matter what situation you throw their way, they're always going to have a plan in mind to prepare and adapt to the situation coming their way.
And that is certainly what it's all about. But I do want to remind everyone at home that Nimo TV is the official media partner of the PUBG Mobile Pro League in 2021. So make sure you go and check all of them out and see what they're up to, because, you know, we want all the support to come the way of PUBG Mobile right now. The scene is growing massively. We're seeing more teams. We're seeing more competitions. The prize money is growing as well, Max. If you can compare it to like where we started, what was it, 2019 when we first did the initial PUBG Mobile commentary together? We were out here in Ukraine. We were rocking it. We were seeing where it was going. And like, the expansion, the teams, the organizations getting involved. It's beautiful for the community, mate.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even have an African PMCO back in the day. I think you might have some teams from Africa join in, but like by joining other PMCOs, but now they got their own region, showing how quickly it grown and did improve over time. So yeah, and we even might have different PMCOs for the African region and just go from North Africa, even South Africa, and see how things are going to work out. It's going to keep on growing, and I can't wait to see where it's going to be in the next few years to come.
Well, let's remind everyone at home exactly what's going on here for the PMCO Africa and take a look at this format. Now, the group stage has already gone by. We started with 32 teams. We've now whittled our way down to just 16 teams within this region. Again, it's now just 4 days of competition, the same teams in the lobby every single game, and 4 matches per day. The highest amount of pressure here, and the top 2 teams will advance to the PMPL Season 2. Nice to see there.
Yeah, great to see. Of course, making it to that PMPL is going to be great for these teams to be able to get a little bit more experience for themselves. We'll see how they're going to work with it. And it seemed like the experience did come the way of Slime 4KT because they made it over to the event after that, the PMPL and such. So they got a lot of great experience after that. And we did think going into yesterday that they might have a little bit of a hard time because they have not been able to play the group stage. And that might hurt them a little bit. But no, right off the bat, after these two first games where they did struggle maybe a little bit, the two last games, they absolutely slapped it. So now you know then the heat of things, they're fully prepared. And now we've got another self 4 games. We'll see how they're going to try and potentially perform and how many points they can take home today once more.
Well, when you're talking about points, mate, this is the distribution of them all. First place will net yourself 15 points. 1 kill equals 1 point as well. You can see, obviously, it whittles all the way down to just 1 and then 0 for the teams that hit the 13th to 16th place. And when it is so stressful and pressured, like in the 4 days you have of the finals now, you just can't afford to have bad days, right? It's not impossible. Like a team could say bomb out of a whole day and then come back and maybe win everything. But like, when do we see that, Max? It doesn't happen, you know? So consistency really is key here. And obviously we spoke about Slime 4KT, but KHK were right up there with just constantly being in the mix, right? And putting themselves in top positions.
Yeah, KHK were looking really strong at the very start. Did slip a little bit towards the end where they do have a total of 33 points as of right now. But especially we're looking at the point system, and as usual, you're going to have that 1 point per kill. The one team that I'm looking at right now is going to be G3 Temper. They got a lot of kills right now, 28, but they're lacking a little bit in terms of positioning points. So kill points are very important, but you can't forget about the positioning points. That's where you get most of your bread and butter done in these games.
Well, let's continue to look now at the prize pool as well, because points do equal prizes in this sense. $4,000 on the line for first place right now. Slime 4KT will be very happy if they can grab that, but it can still be snatched away from him. But in general, right, what I love here is across the $30,000 prize pool is everyone gets a share of the money, Max. And that means there are no losers, because it is very difficult even just to qualify for the PMCO.
Yeah, even if you did not make into the finals, you're in the bottom 16 teams, you still will be taking home $500, which is going to be great. Maybe not the best thing to share. I mean, my math is not great, so definitely don't ask me to share the prize pool between the players. But at the end, it is still great to see that everyone's going to get a portion of it.
$125 each?
Yeah, it's pretty... I think, that's. I think it depends if you've got subs and if you also want to put the managers and coaches in there. I get there's so many things to take into account, but it's still great. And I remember before the old PMCOs, who would only have some of the top teams to get a portion of the prize pool. Now everyone gets a portion of it. It's great to see, and it's going to keep on growing. Might get to 100,000 at one point. I'm hoping to see that happen.
Max, are you leaking something? Is that going to happen?
I don't know. I said I hoped so. I don't know. I haven't signed an NDA, so I literally have no clue.
Dreams will come true eventually, I'm sure, if we keep growing the PUBG mobile scene. Let's take a look at the schedule as well and what will be happening across today. As always, it is 4 matches that come your way. We go on to Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, that Max doesn't get to commentate, and Erangel once again.
I knew that was coming. I knew we were going to stop on Miramar and do a comment. But even today, I'm not going to do Miramar. And you know what? Miramar was not enough for you, was it, James? You're also taking away Sanhok from me. I see how it is.
You know, Moist Max doesn't like Sanhok, so we have to make sure that, you know, we don't give it to you too many times, just so you can handle all the Moist Max references that come into play.
They just want me to hear it in the background. I'm going to mess with you guys so much when you're going to be casting with GK.
I'm ready. You know, you do what you want. For anyone that doesn't know, it is 3 of us commentating as well. DK is also standing on the sides. We swap out the games as we go through this. We have a lot of fun while doing it. We have a little chat, you know, on Discord, just talking through, and Max sometimes just ends up being bullied by all of us, including our producer, who loves to have a little poking fun. Yeah, and chat, they know what to spam the whole way as well, right? That's also key. But what I do need to remind everyone is that we are always born to win with this, because this is the PMCO Africa Full Split. It is brought to you by Oppo. You guys can get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones. And what we will do now is take a break, so Moist Mac, to make sure that he is ready for our opening game. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
We are back and gearing ourselves up for the first match of the day. It's Erangel that we know and love. All the teams feel comfortable on, but we have seen Slime grab that last one, Max. And does that mean they can make potentially 3 chicken dinners in a row? Do you believe?
I would like to believe, but I know that 3, mathematically speaking, is not great, and my math is not good. So when I tell you the math is looking pretty at odds, it might not be looking too good. But you never know. Slime 4KT could be trying to get himself a win. It will be fantastic to see. We got other teams like Aphelion Apex that did start with a win, and we'll see if they can try maybe kickstart day 2 also with a big dub coming their way.
And these are our 16 teams that are currently here in the finals. Now, in terms of ones we saw do very well throughout the group stage, right? G3 Temper certainly need a mention. Gun in there as well. Aphelion Apex, like how they started off yesterday, the highest kill game we've seen throughout the PMCO Africa so far was very impressive. But it doesn't really matter if you have a big win like that if you cannot then follow it up with some more consistent results alongside it. So there'll be some keen eyes on these guys for sure. Obviously, we've touched on Slime 4KT a fair amount. KHK have showed that they can be consistently there, but they need a way to find some success and jump on up. But I know we gave our predictions yesterday on who we thought would take the whole thing. We both were agreeing with Slime 4KT. We had lag in there as a potential, right? And I went with Gun as the other potential coming through for it. I would say, like, overall, for me, it's like some of these teams, I see such great things from them, but then it's like yesterday, we saw a lot more strategy stuff, right? Where we saw a lot more focus and forward thinking, and it was also them getting a bit more on taking risks. And some teams at times, though, need to know also when to dial back. I was watching some of the VODs back, and certainly is something to learn with this, but we're already beginning our descent into the map, Max. And when it comes into Erangel, everyone should remember that we are always born to win. And I welcome everyone to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. You guys can get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones, and you can make sure you dominate your PUBG mobile lobbies as much as possible. Just even better than Moist Mac.
Cringe. There you go.
your answer back is now cringe on this.
Yes.
I love it so much.
It's simple yet effective. But to touch on what you said about teams, maybe they'll not be that consistent. Of course, when you're going into a tournament like this, consistency is key. If Jason was here, he'll tell me I keep saying that word every 2 seconds, which is true, but that is because it is ultimately very, very important. And if you do find some main flaws in your strategies, you got to try and work on them, hopefully. But this tournament is not super long. It's not like a PMPL, such and such, where it can be a little bit harder to deal with. So we'll see if some team can try and work on their few little issues that they've had, maybe in the first day, and even potentially in the group stage, if some have been able to arise. Though in terms of drop locations, nothing too out of the ordinary. There was a team that dropped in Stolba Kameshki yesterday. That is not going to be the case anymore. Only RRAGE Africa is going to be dropping there. As I am seeing, though, Northern George, a little bit clustered. Somalia going to be up there also, was I believe it's FEINTED right behind them. So might have a little bit of back and forth, but I think the FEINTED are not willing to push it any further, so they're going to take the more slow approach. And this circle, here we go, phase 1, very central, literally no issue. This is a good start for these teams to have a nice, normal, hopefully, game of PUBG Mobile.
Hopefully being the key word there, Max. That's always the thing when it comes down to this, because we know, right, the circle may start off nice now, and yeah, they do want to see it, and we love it, but it can quickly, from 1 or 2 hard shifts, absolutely send everything into chaos and madness. But for now, things will stand good for these guys. And I want to see just, is there any change-ups at all? Is there any teams that are maybe looking to mix things up a bit here? But for now, it does seem like everyone is going to their usual locations overall. And Slime will be happy that they don't have to take such a long rotation to go to their spot like last time, you know? They somehow managed to win despite obviously spending a lot of the time fighting off the circle. They were traveling on that last Erangel game for so long.
They're a very slow rotating team, which is not a bad thing. If you want to go for slow rotations, it also gives you a lot more time to prepare and set up a potential bridging point into the circle. I think that's fine. That's what they do. They did it also back into the spring split PMCO. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's at least the mentality I'm going with. And we see that Slime 4KT, even if they do struggle, they can sometimes make up for it given the right opportunity. Though I am seeing some drops that are looking a little bit better overall, because we did have a few hot drops happening, especially on the first game of Erangel. The second game was a little bit more chill, but at the end it did come down to some hot drops happening. And now time has been given to these teams, players, potentially even the coaches, if some teams do have one of those. And now hot drops are just not happening anymore, which is great to see. So we're going to have an even potential better performance here on this map of Erangel, as we'll see how things are working out. But there are some teams that I definitely want to see come back here, James. There's one team that I've been I'm not going to say upset by, but a little bit surprised to the fact that they are currently standing in 14th place with only 15 points. And that is Blackjack Esports. They shredded it back in the group stage. They were doing fantastic. I don't know if it's because I was talking about the Crocs profile picture of Zane. If that's the case, I apologize. But also, you did tell me that those are not his Crocs. So you're forgiven, Zane. That is fine. But yeah, I'm hoping today is going to be the day where Blackjack Esports get back on the saddle, back in gear. Because as I talked about yesterday, after this second day of play, it's going to be a lot harder to start moving in those rankings, and you're going to need some even bigger results to make a difference. So you want to get up in that top 8, I would say, at the end of today to make sure you have a living chance to be first at the end.
Definitely so, right? At the end of the day, we will be at the halfway mark for the finals. So it can be do or die for a lot of teams and what their chances are. But still, every game they play within this matters in a way that this is such a good set of games that you can practice in an official environment, giving your all and knowing the teams that are trying their hardest with it all. Now, I love the fact you mentioned Zane's Crocs again, right? Because Zane, if you're listening to this, right, buy some Crocs for yourself, put them on your feet as well, double croc it to really get Max. Like, I'm all in for the Crocs. I'm down with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't let Max bully you. I'm all fine with it. Let's rock it.
I don't bully. I'm the one that usually gets bullied. Okay, so
you obviously you bully the players that can't talk back. See, that's the difference. I see how your game is, Max.
Oh wow,
you tried to play.
Now you say it like that, I feel like a villain.
Yeah, you are. You're the real bad guy.
I'm the real. Oh no.
First time in your life, we've realized it's all gone wrong.
I don't think I can recover from this.
That's fine. You know, some people they just like being the evil guy.
No, I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to be the real bad guy now.
Ooh.
You wait and see, Jason. You wait and see.
Oh, no. Poor Jason.
Nah, he's a cool
one. You
one.
won't know what hit him.
Oh, okay. There's not even a tree there. There's nothing.
Yeah, maybe just a misclick from Ghost there. I love how we, like, observers, right? They are on point because we always capture someone throwing themselves off the car, spinning around, you know, hitting a tree.
Falling
down.
Get
to see the magic moments, all the times. That for Ghost, like, maybe he was just trying to do some style points, you know, jump on and off it at the same time.
Like, you got to think, right? Those are the small things we do catch. Imagine how much we miss, and this must be hilarious. I would love to see things like that, like a blooper at the end of every single game of the funny moments. That'd be cool if we could have that in the future. But
I remember the first time, right, I played like an official game which I knew was being like broadcasted, and obviously this is many years ago, but I remember thinking like and this is what pro players have to deal with and always just keep out of their minds, is like, I'm thinking, are they watching me right now and I just messed this smoke up? Like, did I do this wrong? You know, you're like, it sits in the back of your mind a bit, and you have to find a way to just block it out completely, because you will make mistakes. You just have to deal with it. Oh, hello, Inspector.
I think we saw it used once, I think, in this event, and it was just slightly used. Gonna bounce back up. Okay, do a little...
I love it. Oh, no, I don't love it. Oh,
parking game on point. Not gonna lie, pretty good, better than me. And I just got my driving license, so that's great. GG.
They gave you a driving license?
Yeah, they gave it to me. I won a giveaway. They just gave it to me.
They didn't give you your favorite car though.
And no. Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Just as a reminder, you know.
I don't have one right now, okay, but I will eventually. I'll come back at you. You keep reminding me I don't have the McLaren. What if I come back at you one day with a real McLaren? What will you say there? And that would be one of the best comebacks ever. But
I'll ask for a ride.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Want to go driving it, mate? I'm not going to complain if you get one. I have a friend that has a McLaren. Why would I ever complain about that?
You were supposed to be upset. You can't be happy for me. That is not okay.
See, look, I win on every front in this.
No,
I can't lose.
How does he do it?
Happiness, positivity.
I wish. Oh well. I wish I had that. Happiness. Don't know what that is. Is that Pokemon? Maybe. Don't know. Have to try and catch it. But lag. Trying to push their way onto Potato Hill. Looking for Drogons too. But now they got the intel. Lag. They don't have the entire team. If I were them, get back in the car. Leave. This is not worth taking unless you have the entire squad join up, which as of right now is not the case. But hey, James, saw your recent pictures on Twitter you posted, and man, good evolution. You've been doing great. Keep it up. A little bit of positivity. You see, I can be nice sometimes. It happens.
I appreciate it, Max. I appreciate it. There's not much positivity going on though for Lag, because they decided to go for the runaway on this one. They are fighting an uphill battle. I wouldn't want to challenge a team from this position as well. Drogons certainly very well set up in it. He gets to see a bit of utility go out from both sides, though. And Shecky Boy, he wants to try and at least put some shots onto him, but nothing will be happening at this point, and they will be able to take control of Potato Hill.
Wow. Okay.
Straight up. Is that fainted?
That's fainted. That's 100% fainted, going for Junior.
Wow.
And same thing. Just like me when I go to the gym, I go to the door and I just like, nope, I'm not going there. I'm leaving. And the Luna that's going to be a little bit further behind, but they can center up. Trying to go for central position, get a little bit of high ground. I like to see that. Nobody going for Pachinki Hill. Would have liked to see maybe some teams go there. It would be a good opportunity. That's phase 2 about to show the top of his head. And it's going to center up once again. Yeah, this is a really fun circle. You're going to have to see teams like Young Thunder try and make their rotation away from Sanhok. But Lag, unfortunately, encountering another team. Berserk has no car to use right now to make his way out of the surrounding area surrounded by Mezexis. So it's pretty hard to deal with. That car goes boom. And he's out. And yeah, Berserk going to try and crawl his way back towards his team. But are the rest of Lag going to try and help him get out of this situation? Or Mezexis just going to leave? And it seems like it will be the ladder. And Mezexis just don't want to deal with that whatsoever.
You're already seeing this right in the finals, that teams are a lot more willing to disengage from things here. They know that if they don't feel too comfortable in a fight, they're not taking this big risk. They're playing it smarter here. They're trying to get closer to each other, fight from a point where they believe they have the advantage. Lag sadly have already lost fantasy, though. They'll find themselves just running around into different teams here. Can't quite get themselves set up and ready. So they're not directly comfortable just yet. And Mezexis still making sure that they keep an eye on what Lag might be doing. Oh, there's a McLaren.
I saw it and I was like, I know he's going to say something. You should do a button for that one too. Because you say McLaren. It so often.
McLaren, just over and over again.
Just the button is like, is that a McLaren I see?
I just won't have to commentate anymore. I'm just going to bind everything to buttons. Just all my key phrases.
Oh, what a kill. That was amazing. But yeah, but to touch on what you said, especially about teams playing a little bit more passive, when you go into finals, right, every single fight needs to make sense more than usually. Yeah. If you just go fight because, we want extra kill points, unless you need points desperately to make it back into the top positions of the rankings, that would make sense. Otherwise, if you don't get an advantage point off the back of that fight, don't get control of a good compound, or you are trying to move into a rotation and that team is bothering that rotation from happening, it's not really worth taking a fight. So as of right now, I'm just happy to see we lost no teams. Only 2 players currently went down. And that is just what I needed to see, because 1 player of Team Lag and 1 player of Mezexis did get picked away. So yeah, it does seem like from the group stage now into the finals, there's been a very drastic shift in the mentality of these teams. As Young Thunder are going to be taking a few pot shots towards MZR. So they're going to be able to make it away over to the hilltop of Pachinki Hill, which is a great position. But Young Thunder, are they going to chase it down or are they going to rotate around?
There's a good bit of damage they were able to get onto Clutcher, but not able to take him out of the vehicle. It does seem like they will rotate around. They will now find some shots coming back out towards them, but not really a problem here for MZR Esports coming into it. They will just sit pretty where they are. Not a bad spot to be in for now, at least. They're on the edge of the circle. They'll work their way in. They'll keep checking out the land and seeing what's in front of them. And this is good. This is what you want to see, right? Not just full sending it and then running past the team potentially being blown up. You're checking every step of the way, leapfrogging each other a bit. As Young Thunder, what you said about the rotation they were making to get away from that fight, they might just end up running straight up into another team at this point. As they're looking here onto the RRAGE players.
Yeah, typically you would say this is not a great position to fight from because it's a slope. But actually, because you have those little plateaus in between the slope, it actually works out fine. So it's a really good temporary stopping point. Take a few shots towards RRAGE, move on forward. That's great from Young Thunder. But this circle, a lot of terrain to play around, but not many buildings and compounds. You have a few shacks here and there. Of course, you're going to be able to play around. But now, if you want a strong position, you need to try and move in early, which is what I believe we're currently seeing from Rila Insider. They're going to try and wrap around down southwest, which I think is a great play, followed up also in very similar fashion by MZR, and I believe also RRAGE as they're trying to move out of Pachinki. So teams know they need to do a very early call here because there's not a lot of positions to fight from. So the earlier, the better. And that's why we've seen a lot of teams rushing in from the northern edge.
Interesting to see as well if Drogons will decide to just sit on Potato Hill for a little bit longer, or if they do want to go further forward, because for them, they may be able to take a few teams out and watch what they're doing on the rotations going through. But now we jump back in with a gun. They're willing to go on the hunt for some of the Aphelion Apex players. Nerf me shooting outside of the car. Aphelion Apex want to run away. The McLaren finds Sicko being removed. Clearly not a good luck charm for him there.
Yeah, no, good roll-up from Gun. Yeah, it was good roll-up from Gun. Really enjoyed it. Just very quick, very swift. As true, nice Kar 98 headshot going to connect onto a player of Slime 4KT as KHK. To be honest, G3 have the best compound in this entire circle right now. It is, though, relatively easy to get close to a compound like this. Really good nade, able to roll it down just in that dip. KHK's got to be a little bit careful, maybe spread a little bit more. They sent Izu up.
When you mentioned the car, by the way, we hadn't seen that many of the Kar 98 shots come through, actually, when we look at group stage. We did have it during the spring split. I remember I was talking about it quite a lot.
It was Darkness. I remember Darkness was doing a lot of those headshots. It was the guy we were talking about all the time.
Long range.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Mini 14, SLR, a lot more popular, I would say, that kind of range. Yeah. Not too surprised. They're trying to send Flak on the rooftop. Yeah, there you go. Flak is trying to go onto the rooftop. That makes sense. It's a good rooftop to hold on to. But they didn't spot out. Of KHK.
Oh, he's been seen, though.
Oh.
They now know Flacco's up there. Yeah.
They wouldn't be jumping out like that if they knew it was there. Like, Sigto, is he trying to bait it? I think he's trying to...
Take the shot, please. Come on. Take the shot.
There you go. Confirm it. Yes. Good job.
Wow, he was fast on that. G3 may have the good compound.
He was asking for it, man.
Yeah. That was really tempting fate on so many levels. Jumping around, little Bugs Bunny wannabe. Ends up getting splattered. And KHK, if they want, they could try challenges with the numbers advantage, but it's still very difficult to breach this compound in general.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool because you have Izu just so close. He could actually smoke the windows, and that would be a really good way to send the entire team forward off KHK. Personally, now you know 100% as a factor you got the man advantage. It's a 4v3. Izu, pop the smokes, get rid of the visibility of G3, even more now so than any time before because it is dead sent into the circle and full on breach it. That would be my recommendation. Otherwise, you're going to have to play onto a slope. It's not really fun. So I would recommend them to go for the fight instead. But it seems like they are going for a more slow approach. Drogons haven't moved, which is a great decision as of right now. They've got the tippity top of the mountain of Potato Hill to play around. So they're going to be really happy about that investment. But teams might also want to try and contest it away, and Young Thunder will be closing, at least attempting to close that gap. Might also be thinking of trying to go around Drogons, but unfortunately, if you're trying to avoid the fight so often on the position, on the terrain like this, teams are just going to have the advantage at some point against you. So this is a circle where you have to take risk eventually.
Yeah, there is going to be a point where, especially like we were talking about this, right, with the circles, that, okay, it started off normal, a couple of very nice centered ones, teams going to like it, but then we've just had two hard shifts. One that went down to the southeast and now one up to the northwest. So teams are having to do a bit of the runaround coming up into it. We're seeing plenty of kills start to activate here on the kill feed for now. Not as many confirmed because there's still 57, now 56 alive. Okay, it's slowly happening. But yeah, INF seem to be just heavily under fire.
Oh, they're getting destroyed. What's happening? I want to see that, man. Influence Rage Africa really struggling. Superior suffering a bit of damage to the hands of Pronto. I don't think Pronto was playing the first day, if I was mistaken. And Pronto was one of the other big names, Slime 4KT. I don't think he was playing yesterday. I might be mistaken on that one. But if he wasn't, great to see that guy back. Of course, was the rest of the team.
Now for Drogons, they have been the kings of Potato Hill for as long as possible. They've already lost Ghost. We saw that one go down earlier. I hear it. I don't see it, Max.
Ooh. Yeah, you know. Is that no McLaren I hear?
That engine. Listen to it purr.
Very good imitation. But
I tried.
ooh. Oh, there you go. That's finally the push coming on through from KHK. They want this compound. Gunner's going to be extremely low. Flak already knocked down. Only Budin can really defend this one. There's going to be pushed into a 1v2. Trying to jump out. And that's it for G3. That's the push we wanted to see. Smoke out the windows, block out visibility, and you're pretty much golden. That is the push we wanted to see from this team. He's dead.
This is what I mean. You know, they just want to fire off some more shots, make sure everyone knows they're there. This is our place now. Don't come near. We're going to go straight into Team Somalia now having to try and challenge the players on gun. 2 shots being landed there. Hanad with the pre-fire. Short kind of just ran straight up into it. unable to get them knocked. Meds are going to be used. Plaza a bit out on his own. He's been hit by the flames. Will have to run away as he's burning slowly but surely alive. Team Somalia don't have the numbers in this fight, but they're still willing to take it. They found 3 kills total already. And poor Plaza, he's just doing the best he can to avoid all the flames he is being surrounded by. There is so much utility going out towards him. They want to be able to flush him out. And Gun, they can't really protect him right now. Pounds is up in the house hoping someone might overextend and show themselves so he can take some shots. But instead, Plaza will find himself being knocked down. And they may struggle to keep him going. He's instantly eliminated.
That's a big issue for Gun, because that was the perfect angle that was actually stopping that push happening. And now the entire team can just push their way onto Gun so easily because they only got himself the 3 players that are basically catered in a very similar spot. So that off angle of Gunner was actually key. Somalia thinking of how they want to approach this one, but they are not going to be in the circle for phase 5. They got to think about taking a fight, then start moving almost instantaneously into the circle, because KHK currently have the best compound in the position to fight from. They know, do we take the fight or do we leave? Seeming like how we've seen the Beast currently move, it seemed like they're going to go for the second option and leave this position entirely. And Gun might be trying to stay a little bit longer to go for an easy backstab opportunity behind it and pick up a few more kills around the corner. I think that'll be a good play, but unfortunately, seeing how these two teams are playing, it seemed like they're both locking himself down in this position, and the Blue Zone's moving into now 5 seconds. A decision needs to be made by one of these two teams.
Yeah, this doesn't benefit either of them. That blue damage is going to come in. Okay, yes, they know Somalia have to move, but Gun, you're going to be hit by this as well. It's not going to be a fight you're just going to clean up in a few seconds, boys.
Don't say
There we go. Bring him in. Jump straight in on the McLaren that Max is never going to be able to get his hands on. Starts to drive away nice and fast. Look at it. Beautiful. May not be the color that you want, Max, but just listen to it purr.
I'll take it. I'll take any color. I'll take no color even. I just want a McLaren, to be honest. I just want it. Yeah, just any. Give me anything, please. I'll take anything,
Okay,
even a piece of clothing. Ooh. Okay,
aggressive.
good. Yeah, I'm surprised actually went for the rooftop play. But when you have so many teams around you like this, on a circle like this, now especially in phase 5, going into phase 6, rooftop is just almost not viable anymore because you're going to get knocked instantly. It's good for an early scouting position. Mid-game into late game is not viable. You just quit the rooftops. It is not worth it. And that allows actually Aphelion Apex to close that gap and maybe get himself a few nades. They're trying to smoke it out, block out visibility away from KHK. That is how you breach this compound. Smoke it up, and then it's so hard to actually defend it properly.
Pennywise trying to cook the nade and find someone. Goes out but can't quite connect onto Kage. Lag's going to find themselves next to be eliminated here. But plenty of these teams are starting to go into the action. Find themselves out in these open areas. And as they work their way around, exposing themselves to certain damage and certain doom. Gun will fall in the end.
Ooh.
They weren't able to make it out. That was real smart in the end from Somalia because they just bailed, right? Got straight out of there. And then they could be the gatekeepers rather than them being held back the whole time by Gun. So smart decision overall there. 4KT still up with 4 players here. A couple of them quite heavily hit. Oh, there we go. Storm going to go and rack up some additional points. That's 4 in total now already for these guys. Fainted with only 1 player left. Storm finishing off more. Quick damage being done. And they're at it again. This is just ridiculous.
5 kills ready for the Slime Boys. And the circle, that's another hard shift. What's happening? These circles aren't very kind to the teams up on the north and the east. It's great for Young Thunder, also MZR, as he did get himself rid of Drogons, should I say. So they're going to have a little bit more information coming their way because of that high ground elevation.
I promise you I don't have the button, Max. It's not me this time. Taking no responsibility for it. Oh, Aimer goes down, though. So finally some return fire coming out towards him. Storm's gone really up close. Oh, he does it with a car! That's it! You'll get away with this, Storm!
It's a McLaren kill!
Rampage! What? They are now heavily under fire. It's MZR now taking the shots at them, but they gained some space. They somehow made that work. They only lost 1 player by the looks of it. Prontos was the one that... No, not Prontos. Aimer that went down.
It's Storm, man. I mean, are we surprised? Not really. And he's going in again. There you go. Pops the car. Trying to get a little bit more breathing space for the rest of his team. Somalia looking to maybe get rid of Aphelion Apex. And KHK are using this little bit of anticipation to try and move out. But King Gaming's got himself a good off angle. Picks up 1 onto Blessing. Going for Kage right now. It's a little bit of a 1v1. And he takes it down once again. That's their 7th kill on board. As Aphelion Apex bite the dust and get eliminated in 6. Now things are starting to heat up big time, James. As now only 5 team remains.
And they actually are going to be able to get away because KHK are back from that position. Pennywise actually going to find himself stuck. He's the only one that didn't manage to get the rotate going on. And the rest of them, they're looking, they're hoping, they're on the edge of it thinking, can we do something here? There's so much blue damage happening. Hanad, you're not going to make it, mate. Yeah. It's taken out of the car.
Beast.
You won't even crawl that. That's not happening.
Yep. That's it. Still pretty good run. I think that compared to yesterday, they can be still happy with that performance. A lot more kills to their name. They're going to be really happy with this one. But of course, hitting the next 3 games, you need to try and get a bit more to make sure you can put yourself in the top 8 at the end of the day. KHK, pretty big spread, but tried their best to send a few players into the circle, which I think is top priority for these teams. As I have no idea how Turpis is able to spot out a player of Slime right now, but he's able to do it regardless. As a crate comes down, could be helping out a few players of KHK or even Storm. But Rila Insider, we forgot them a little bit, James, but they are just sneaking onto the more southern eastern edge. They might have an edge versus KHK very soon.
If they can use the edge to their advantage to gain the edge, that's going to be huge, but we'll have to wait and see. As Rila now starts to come under fire. Trying to work their way up. KHK still not engaging in it just yet. MZR at the top are just raining bullets down on everyone that exposes themselves at all. Now we start to see the smokes come out as well to provide some additional cover. MZR looking to work further forward. Clutcher providing the cover fire. They're just going in for it. They want to deal the damage now. They want to put the hurt on them, but you don't want to be hit by that blue. You cannot stop that in phase 6, and they are being picked apart. It was a good effort. It was a smart play at the beginning, but then they got absolutely destroyed by Zeke.
It's a 1v1 again. They're giving it. Oh, Turpis gets it knocked down, and that's it for Rila Insider to get eliminated away. 9th kill. Might be looking for double digits, but still at the very start, that was a mistake. It's given a lot of space and a lot of time, especially for KHK, to make a play accordingly, and the circles coming their way. Now MZR going to have to go downhill. A lot of the cars are now actually damaged. While KHK still have a few cars to play for, and Storm is just chilling in the wings, and he's just waiting to steal away minimum a 2nd place, and even maybe a chicken dinner off the back of that.
Oh, could you imagine if he steals away the chicken dinner?
That'll be 3.
They made top 3 and he's just on his own is ridiculous anyway, considering they were definitely seen by a lot of teams. But he's just chilling behind that tree. And the thing is, it was one of the MZR players that saw him. They were taking shots at him. So they should have an idea that maybe he was still hanging about. But for now, they need to focus on KHK. That's their biggest threat. And they've got 10 kills right now.
When you look at the minimap, no one is looking towards Storm. No one. They have no clue. And this is great for them that are actually going for a little bit of a wider spread, trying to reduce the effect of the circle shift. With these 2 smokes actually blocking out a lot of visibility from KHK. So that's allowing these 2 players to actually reposition. So that was a really good setup from them. But that molly could be big. Going to allow a little bit of time for Clutcher to be able to move away. Does see the molly, but is kind of out of range. The Storm just going to be, once again, sneaking right into the circle. They're looking good. I like that nade. Oh, a lot of damage down onto Jairbot. And that's going to be a 1-on-1 happening so far on the top side.
Nice attempt there. There's KHK. They are looking to fight back as much as possible. Jairbot heavily under pressure as well. More damage being done. Clutcher trying to land some key shots. Couldn't quite get the knock in there. First aids are going to be used, but the pressure is on for everyone. And meanwhile, Storm is sitting back, hearing it all, watching it all go down. And he's just waiting for the perfect timing to jump on top of everyone.
He's waiting for the fight to break out.
Oh, nice.
Great. Oh, that was amazing. Really good shot right through the bars of that buggy. LBX, he knows. You see the smoke up there. He's not going to go for the random spray. Even though I would recommend it. There you go. Go for the spray. Never know. Might get a little bit of damage down onto LBX. LBX is going to try and peek around the corner. And he connects it. KHK now down to 2. Oh, no.
How did he get that?
KHK's right behind them. No, sorry, Slime. They still got Storm right behind it. And Jairbot has no idea.
Oh, no. Luckily for now, KHK are still taking the advantage in these fights. But Jairbot, will he even see Storm? Storm throws out a nade, the knock goes through, but Jairbot didn't see the nade go up. Oh, God, this is crazy. And Jairbot's going forward now. Not just oh, he sees it.
Oh, the nade.
He puts the end to Storm. Finally, it pays off, and KHK, they're looking to clean up and live the dream in this one. Damage being done, only 1 more player to find. Turpis, he's hiding behind the car. The shots go out towards it, and KHK take the win. A 29-point game. We spoke about them being consistent, Max. Well, now they get a win under their belt as well, and that's what these guys massively needed.
Yeah, that's what I talked about with DK yesterday on the cast, and we were saying that when you're looking at KHK, they were being really consistent, but when you are able to convert yourself a game into a win like this and get a huge amount of point coming your way, that is what allows you to jump a huge amount of places in your ranking. This is a game that KHK, I'm not going to say wanted, they needed to get a game like this to be comfortable at the end of today. It was a very clean finish. They knew they had to breach that compound versus G3 Temper. The moment they got that compound, everything just went into place on its own, and they played it really, really well. So yeah, that is the KHK we want to see in games like this.
Lewis, though, he needs a lot of credit for that one, right? Because he was able to stand behind that tree and put so much damage onto these players. He was pulling off the knocks they needed, and it forced MZR to move around there at the end. So he definitely came in as the point man overall. Jebot may finish it all off for him, but finding Storm there, I was so worried that Storm was just going to be chilling and they would have no idea.
Oh, the pin.
We saw the nade go up, and we're like, did he know? Has he got an idea of what's going on? And then, whew,
yeah,
just about.
It was the pin. It was the audio cue. It's the smallest thing. You might not even hear it sometimes, but like it just take the pin out, instant audio cue. And because when you actually do take a nade in your hand, your 3D model's even higher above the grass, so you can get spotted out. And that's how it worked out. But it was still a really good attempt. And that is still 2 wins on the last games of yesterday, a top 3 on this game too. They're looking like they're going in with a mission in mind, and they want to be first once again in the full split now.
Let's see what the points are across our first match, because it was 70 points total, right, that Slime got yesterday. They've added another 17 to it now with this third place. MZR up at 21, but KHK living the dream, playing it big, nearly getting the 30-pointer in there, just 1 point shy of it when it comes to the kills. Rila didn't do too badly either alongside Somalia, and then when it comes down, because it was so top-heavy, the points afterwards when it comes from Aphelion Apex under is going to be very, very small.
Yeah, Somalia, though, we needed to see a good performance from them. When you look at their 4 games of yesterday, over the course of those 4 games, they had 15 points. So they just basically almost doubled their points with 1 single game this time around. And I think it was down to decision-making when they were having that back and forth with Gun. They understood this fight doesn't make sense. We're going to move into the circle. And as you said, James, at one point was they're going to become the gatekeepers, basically, which is exactly what came to fruition for them. So really good stuff on them. Hoping to see a lot more as now going into the second page. And as you said, right after you go around Young Thunder, all the points below that are looking very, very small. Blackjack Esport, we needed to see a big game. Same for Gun, but unfortunately not able to make anything of it. And even Team Lag, big names are coming into it. And even G3, I just realized I was not expecting to see them so low, but they take himself a 0-pointer. The big names from the group stage are getting contested at the top.
And you mentioned Blackjack Esports, right? Needing to have a good day today. Okay, Erangel didn't go their way. If they can turn it up for these next few games, fine. But 2 points is just not going to be sufficient for these guys at all, Max. It is certainly a problem. But we now need to gear ourselves and get ourselves up and ready for what's coming in Sanhok. Max is going to take a little bit of a break. DK is going to come on in, and we will be enjoying Sanhok in about 7 minutes or so.
5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Moist Max has gone and DK is back as we move into match 2. It's Sanhok time, DK. And well, Slime, they still sit very comfortably at the top of the scoreboard, but we got a win out of KHK and a very good one at that, mate.
Yeah, it was quite impressive to watch, and I mean, they finished that one off with a beautiful 14-point kill. It's not that crazy in comparison to our first match we had yesterday,
True.
but hey, who's comparing? I mean, 14 kills is still a very decent, very, very decent finish. And man, I gotta say, I'm so excited to see what the teams are going to be doing in today's matches because, you know, they've got so much to prove. Coming in off the back of yesterday, Slime 4KT with that insane play, there's going to be so much work to be done here today. And I mean, KHK, they're really starting to put in the work, as we saw already with that first game being absolutely fantastic. Now, 3 more games remain. What is going to happen?
And what's crazy, right? Because it's only 4 days. We're at the end of the day, we're at the halfway mark, and we really start to see which team's probably going to massively struggle and ones that may be making it through. Now, I did ask Max, DK, obviously, what was going to be the team he would pick to win. Are you joining us on the Slime 4KT route? And do you have another team that you think has a chance of it? Or are you going for something else, mate? Because you made some pretty solid predictions on the last day, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was pretty spot on with the teams moving through, right? But man, I gotta say, today it's so difficult. Slime 4KT, they're making it exceptionally difficult to catch them. They've just been so aggressive. Maybe I'll have an answer for you tomorrow. Today's going to be a little bit tough.
Okay. He's not putting his money where his mouth is just yet, but we are going into this game and we are always born to win. As I welcome you all to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gaming mode on with the much loved Reno 5 series. And if you're jumping into Sanhok right now and you're using one of the Reno 5 series phones, then you will have a better chance than the competition who do not have one to pop off and bring the pain across your PUBG mobile experience. Now, much smaller map when it comes to Sanhok. Obviously, fast and furious. We've seen the heal strats come into play many times when we were looking at the group stage overall. And we do know that Moist Mac loves this map from start to finish. But I would say when it comes to Sanhok, for me, it's always the most random one of how it all goes down, DK.
Yeah, I mean, there is quite a bit of randomness that comes along with the map of Sanhok, but all right. So we have a fairly decent zone, but again, the trifecta being in play here, it's gonna be interesting to see what the teams are gonna do with that. But all right, so the reason I'm not putting my money on any team just yet, right, is we saw an absolutely stellar performance come from 4KT yesterday with a double chicken back to back, but we could potentially see KHK, Apex, or even Rila Insider step up and look to replicate the same kind of play. I mean, G3 off to a really tough start so far today, being the first team back into the lobby in the previous match. I'm hoping to see them potentially come with a bit of a bounce back.
Well, the bounce back is certainly needed for some of the teams. Now, I know while we got the first part of this circle, I'm just going to take people through where we're at overall. So we didn't get the time to show you the graphic with the current standings. Slime 4KT are up in first place still, 87 points. KHK Closest team to them in second with 62. And Aphelion Apex 57, Rila 51, G3 Temper 47, Mezexis 39, Team Lag 37, and Young Thunder 33 with Dragons. Drogons. I've done it not wrong at all throughout the entire games, and now I get it when I'm just looking down it. 9th for the Drogons in 31 points. MZR 30. There are so many teams that are close. There's not really any teams that are that separated. Like KHK Esports 17, FEINTED 10, but like they're at the very bottom. Yet you can just have one good game and you will skyrocket up throughout this leaderboard.
But I mean, this is a very surprising leaderboard to be looking at. I mean, you would not expect to see a team like FEINTED or Blackjack even influence Rage and Gun, the bottom 4 teams at the current moment. I wouldn't imagine them in this universe sitting over there on the leaderboard at the current time. But you know, that's just the beauty of these tournaments and beauty of Battle Royale is anything can happen and it could swing either way. I mean, if we look back to last season, the Drogons, they finished up in 16th place. This season so far, on the second day, they're already sitting up in 9th place. So quite a big improvement has come in. And I don't know whether or not Gun, Influence, Rage, Blackjack, and FEINTED are sitting that low because we see such an increase in the performance coming in from the other teams.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just having an off day. I don't know exactly which one it is, but let's go for the improvement. Let's say it's just because the competition has just dialed up the level of gameplay to such an extent that it is that much harder to get a decent point.
And I would quite happily agree to that because like what I've been noticing is in terms of teams deciding to disengage smarter, not maybe overcommit at times. Teams like we just saw with the smokes going down in front of the building and pushing on into it. Like we're seeing a higher level of play where they are taking a lot less of the risks that they were in group stage because obviously they know how important each one of these games are. So obviously some teams may be slightly further ahead, but everyone is giving their best foot forward. Everyone's giving huge amounts of effort to it, but it is not easy. This is a tough lobby. And you got to remember as well, right? These teams know each other. These teams have been able to research on each other and understand how their normal gameplay would be, what drop spots they would take and stuff. So as Max mentioned when it came to the first game of Erangel, some teams have even just said, okay, we won't take that spot anymore. We're going to have to give it off to someone else because sometimes that's just the way it goes. You need to be the team that says, I'm not going to keep trying to push this because this will maybe end even worse for us than what it already has.
Yeah. But what I really do appreciate is just how much growth there has been in the scene, in the Africa scene. Just looking at how the teams are utilizing this opportunity. You know, they've come to realize that this is an absolutely fantastic chance for them to show the world, not just the continent, but the world, what they've got. They have that opportunity to move into the EMAs. So again, that is an absolutely fantastic opportunity. They get to play against some of the best teams in the region, and they have to prove themselves. And the only way to get there is to earn your slot. And I mean, you can see them definitely stepping up, bringing that extra level. And this is what makes PMCO so exciting.
And that's exactly what we want to see coming out of the PMCO. But what we're also going to see is the Drogons pushing up already here and potentially trying to take this fight against Somalia. The Beast further forward, waiting for someone to potentially go into his crosshair and see what he might be able to hit. But he is hiding behind that rock, sneaky as you like, but can he find any success of it? If he comes down at the right time, it could be huge, and that's it. Unexpected first shot landed, very close range, but now he's been seen. Now they know where he is, but he's doing the big damage. The Beast is still alive. He's put 2 on the floor. He's using the med kit, and the Drogons, they've been eaten alive. Sheki trying to pull off the revive, but he is in a world of hurt. Ghost goes down. The revive's not going to pay off, and that's not going to work out for the Drogons. Eliminated instantly, and that was such a play from Somalia.
Yeah, I mean, they came up with a vengeance, pushing straight back into that one. And I mean, that was so beautiful to watch. It just absolutely erupted. And I'm expecting so much more of that to happen throughout the games today. And looking at where we've got the team spread out, where they are positioned, this is going to be a pretty hot and spicy Sanhok match.
And thing is, Max just wrote in the chat, right? 0 points last game, 1 point this game. Big rip for the Drogons. Not what you want to see at all. And okay, Somalia lost a player, but they just gained themselves 4 points. And they're going to continue to try and rock it from there. And, well, it is Sanhok. They can certainly play it smart. They might be able to grab a bunch of meds off the fallen bodies of the Drogons as well. They want to potentially set themselves for a hill strat. Things do start to look dire. Obviously, that'll come a little bit later on. But there's a world of opportunities open for these guys right now. And That was a huge start from a start they're certainly going to be proud of. And I'm just the fact he was even able to get 2 knocks, you know, from where he was. Because you got to remember, when you're that close range, to be able to turn is not easy to take the shots on towards him. So he pulled it off. He obviously had some backup cover fire from his teammates, but solid stuff coming out from the beast there, and he stayed alive.
Yeah, I mean, now's the time to shine. Now or never. This is what they got to do. They got to step up and shine because, I mean, 4KT, they've already set the bar exceptionally high just off of yesterday's performance. And now the rest of the teams, they need to try and catch up. There's no more chance, no more opportunity to even let one single mistake potentially creep in. They got to be on point with their gameplay all the way through. And now as we look onto the players here from Influence RRAGE, they got Lag positioned right up ahead of them. And it is a fight because Influence, they want to push back. They want to get up onto that second page and they have to go through Lag to bring that in. Fantasy now getting knocked right on down. Leader holding that off angle plane. I'm curious to see whether or not INF are going to look to push in, get aggressive, and just close up this fight with Lag.
Certainly with a knock, it might be a chance for him. Inspector being the player further away. Does look out towards 0, so he has an idea of where at least one of the other Lag players is sat for now. And with them being so split up, this could be very easy pickings for the INF players. Leader eats a bit of damage from the nade as well. The push is coming full 3 players just running at him. If he even gets a knock on it, oh, they're on top of the rock as well. No hope, no chance. Picked apart and put on down. INF getting themselves the extra point in there. They can finish off Fantasy as well, who's trying to slowly crawl away. But it's not going to work out for him. Inspector still looking for Berserk. He did spot him, remember, he took a few shots at him. Poor Berserk's probably thinking, how do I get out of this one? Like, where's the best option to go? 0's so far away from him, and he can't move. The moment he moves, he will be spotted. They are looking.
Man, the coverage, the awareness, just looking so on point. And just looking at the rotations now, we see Apex actually coming in with a bit of a botation, but the shots in the background. As you can see, Lag getting another confirmation in their direction. And now it is down to the wire. Only 2 players remain. It is Berserk. It is 0 left to try and make this fight work in their favor. And INF still sitting on a full squad, but a nice off-angle play coming in here from 0. It is going to be a lot of work, though, to try and land those shots. Meanwhile, INF, they just bombarding Berserk here with the grenades.
Oh my, it's like this little bit of tick damage off on him every time, and he's just thinking, okay, they've not hit me completely yet. Maybe they'll just think I'm not here because of how many nades they've put. Maybe I can get away with this. Is that 0 trying to provide some sort of interesting cover fire? Is that a thing right now? Is that what's going on?
It could be, but I mean, INF, they're just playing this ridge line. They're playing the cover, looking to not expose themselves just yet. But now, yeah, it is a fairly tricky position to be in. So I appreciate what 0 is doing there, trying to provide that cover for Berserk. But 0 needs to make that call at one point. Depending on how this engagement goes with Berserk, he needs to decide whether or not he's going to try and reposition back up into zone, because that's exactly what INF is now doing.
They've still got some time as well before the blue starts to really take control and force them to move just yet. Lag's hope is slowly dwindling as Somalia now will get... Woo! How did you stay alive? I looked like I was right on top of him.
Wow.
Bit of luck on his side, but eventually the second nade will come through and put him on the floor. Chapo's going to go straight in for the revive. Fainted. Team right now that is at the very bottom of the leaderboard. But really do have a few kills coming in here. But can they deal with this fight? It is only 3 players left on Team Somalia from the fight we saw them take earlier. We know they're capable. We know they're confident. You remember that Miramar game, right? When he nearly pulled off the 1v2 to try and win it out and then went on to win Erangel afterwards. Somalia did get those 2 back-to-back chicken dinners throughout the group stage to get them to the finals. It just stood in my memory because we just didn't expect it. Somalia out of nowhere. So they do have these moments where they can shine. INF, though, they're now on the hunt. 4-0. They do seem to have a good idea where he is. But can they deal with him? Oh, he's made noise. Goes out for shots. Sully. Oh, he's not going to get finished? Yeah. Oh, a second in it. Oh, an INF. Oh, what do you do now? Wow. You've only got 1 player left.
I mean,
fancy their chances.
James, it's game time. Like, this is just what it is. Yeah, I mean, the teams just came into today just so focused on improving whatever mistakes they made yesterday, just looking to rectify them and bring in an even better gameplay. And so far, I got to say, man, they are 100% succeeding in that. And now moving in through the second phase, almost into that third phase. I'm curious to see where this next zone is going to pop, because MZR and BJE, we see them holding up in towards Stambunk. Quite a few hits already sending in towards MZR. But BJE, they need to bring that performance. They need to bounce back. And, well, we see Cheddar playing again today. Or not playing again, but Cheddar is playing today. So hopefully that could be that opportunity.
Blood's position here is huge. They're just running forward. Is there going to be a player that comes behind him? Oh, is he going to get checked? Goes out for the shot. Nice bit. Oh, he doesn't get it, though. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He was waiting for the perfect timing. He was waiting for the drop. It did not work out. MZR trying their best to hang on, but they're down to just one player. Turpis, down at the bottom, all alone. This hasn't benefited either of them. Look how much has just happened. They've been picked apart from the sides, and both of them now are struggling massively. Yes, if you deal with Turpis, you still have two players live. You can try and do something from here. You're in this new circle, at least, which is a positive for you. Still a lot of water in this circle, but my oh my. Just looking at this circle, DK, this is the one that just screams catastrophe. I really hope we don't get a bridge ending. That's what I'm not down for. They, for me, are the most boring, where you just see someone sit in the water and wait it out.
Yeah.
Please no, not again.
We'll have to wait and see, but now everything is riding on Turpis here. I mean, this has been quite the costly engagement for BJE. They moved in with a full squad. MZR just playing those defensive plays, and now, I mean, they've also been reduced down to one, but Turpis still stands a fighting chance, and we have seen some fantastic plays come in from Turpis in the group stage. But now, will he be able to put that nade right on point? Ooh. Oh, so close. MG just barely managing to evade the damage there.
If that was a movie, MG would have had to jump and slide across the floor.
Yeah.
Just to avoid it all going down. Turpis trying to just check two angles as much as possible. He's playing it smart for now. And the fact that in the circle means that this can go on for quite some time. It's such a risk for Blackjack Esports, though. Don't want to have MG going down here. There's only so much Wisco can do from this spot as well.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be so tough. But I'm liking the approach coming in here. MG trying to hold up that frontline play with Wisco coming in off the side. Now quickly repositioning, and they're looking to apply the pressure. And they can actually afford to stay here for a little while, as they do have zone. But that blue zone is closing in. So maybe that could throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But Wisco and MG, they are going to be looking to get the confirm, close it up, find that finishing blow into Turpis. And MG now just relentlessly searching, looking to see if he can find that opening, find that gap. But man, Turpis, I don't want to be him right now. The heartbeat just going absolutely insane. Could maybe still see a very clutch play come through. Oh, Wisco with the jump shot lands and also now FEINTED, getting into a fight of their very own. Wow.
FEINTED have to be very careful, though. 4 points is good for them from here. They've lost one player already. Keep themselves to 3 alive. The revives come on through. They are on the edge of the circle, which actually at the moment doesn't have too many teams going right around them. But MZS will be hot on their heels. And what's Coco doing from Rila Insider? He's way split up. Oh, really? Really? The one thing I don't want, I don't get my island finishes, you know? I don't get the madness I do enjoy. And I'm going to get, potentially, I'm pretty much sure at this point, we're going to get this bridge ending. This is the most moist moment you could find.
Yeah, but you should have said that you want a bridge ending, then it would have gone the other way. You know how it works by now.
Reverse psychology doesn't work. I don't think about it. Damn it. Remind me next time, DK. Save me from myself. Save me from these horrible circles. Ooh. And also save FEINTED from that. That's what I mentioned just a few moments ago. Mezexis was going to be coming on forward, and that's where they needed to be careful. They maybe felt too comfortable on top of that hill. And Varrox wants to just push on forward. His teammates are taking some extra shots alongside him. He did spot out one player there. Wants to do some more damage. Does have nades if he wants to use it as well. There is possibility for it to work out. There's only one FEINTED player left to find. And yes, they desperately needed these 4 points they do have. But They certainly wanted some more. They don't want to go down and out like this. The flames are at the feet of Verox, but he just about escapes it. And there we go. Fainted, eliminated. 12 places, all they will manage to grab.
Wow. I was almost convinced that Molly was going to hit him. I mean, it just flew right in his direction. By some magic, he managed to evade that and send a beautiful one off in a response, in a reply, just so on point. And man, that was a really, really good play coming in for Mezexis though. But I mean, you gotta look at it in general as well. They're looking so good, sitting in 6th place, 39 points. I mean, that is just absolutely fantastic. And now we see RRAGE also looking to apply the pressure as they move right into Rila Insider.
Now, can they deal with Rila Insider, though? One on the floor already. Nades going on in. Roller able to avoid it there as Zeke continues to pull off the revive. Oh! These nades, they just were unrelenting, non-stop. Zeke now on the floor. Roller, how does he even want to try and get there? He's taking extra damage. More nades coming on through. Akina, they're just waiting it out. This is unfortunate. There is no way they're getting this done. Rila Insider. It was Coco that was miles away. So where has he found himself now? He's still there, out in Painan, in the blue, just tanking damage. He's already heal stratting. Okay.
Oh, wow, that's got to sting a little bit.
Look at him. Coco, buddy, like I understand the heal strat. I'm all in for it. This was very early, mate. Very early. You could have potentially pushed it a bit further, you know, giving yourself a chance. Okay, it may be not the end of the world on this ending. It may not be that bad.
Yeah, he does have a decent number of meds on him though, but I mean, looking at this bridge, oh, look at the sheer carnage coming in now. Aphelion Apex 4KT bumping heads, 30 points separating these two teams currently on the leaderboard. Who's going to be the one?
Oh, nice.
To either increase or close that gap, but Aimer just coming in with the sprays, and Sicko now trying to bring in that extra bit of pressure. But I like the position now because we got RRAGE just on the opposite edge of that zone, applying a bit of that third-party action. And now 4KT feeling the pressure.
Yeah, this is a game where they may start to struggle some more. 2 players still bleeding out. Pronto's already died. Koa wants to try and see what he can do here, but he's only got 5 first aid kits on him if he thinks about healing, shredding, or something like that. It'd be very difficult to deal with these Aphelion Apex players. And that blue damage is something they don't want to be tanking here. Sicko needs to be moving at this point in my eyes. What's he trying to do? Where's he going? Well, 4KT are out. 10th place. A few points, but it's not going to be one of their good games in here. Oh, there we go. Sicko went for the bike. He had other ideas. He'd obviously spotted that out. That'll get him in a bit faster. But this is again chaotic to say the least. Everyone who's anywhere near the bridge can be seen from a mile away. RRAGE actually have beautifully benefited from this as well. They're still in a very strong position.
A very, very dominant position definitely there for the side of RRAGE. But now they just need to try and hold on. We can see Kage also finding a few sprays coming in all the way from that bridge. And now this is where Young Thunder also feels the pressure. They're trying to hold up a bit of a defensive line, trying to stop the side of Mezexis here from getting back into zone. Meanwhile, Rila Insider getting eliminated. And Young Thunder, they now need to defend. But again, it's such a difficult position because they've got G3 and RRAGE right behind them, as well as the players there from Apex. So they need to be super, super careful. But beautiful shot right onto Verox.
Superior did it perfectly there. Was proned way in advance. The nades have just skipped past him. Verox going to crawl on forward. The rest of Mezexis are there, but look at the damage they're going to be taking. Phase 6, plenty of ticks coming through onto him. Superior can just back away, no problem at all. And he's going to be backed up by Drew to put some more damage onto the rest of the players from there. Aphelion Apex, they're the next team to fall. Play zone wiping out players one by one at the same time. Pyro, you got no chance at all. Took a few shots. Couldn't get everything done that he needed. KHK is still up in it again with another consistent placement point. Not sure how many kills they have just yet, but they're willing to fight and their team's close to them. They're up at 4. Not bad at all. 4 still alive as well. They want to use this ground, though, to their advantage as much as possible. It's a beautiful spot to fight from because they don't want to cross this. They are going to have to get many smokes on down. As Pennywise throws out the nade. Oh, big damage being done. Young Thunder are also done. And another kill goes the way of KHK. RRAGE and KHK still playing on the edges, trying to find their success of it. More nades going out from both sides. I like the split from G3, though. 6 got out towards the bridge. Flacco hiding down. He will be easily seen, and RRAGE might spot him. Does he want to take some shots of it all? Oh, look at all the nades that they've got ready. They know they're in the smoke. They're trying to bait him out with it. Jarebot tries to skirt on forward in the buggy. He's running on forward. Slay with a nade in his hand. Can't get his gun out in time. Isn't able to react. He's playing the bait and switch of it all. Somalia have fallen in the end. They'll be going out in 4th place. It's 11 kills for RRAGE as KHK bite the dust in the end.
Man, absolutely insane stuff. But now there's the opportunity for Flacco to try and play, but Slay doesn't even spot him. What? They are so focused elsewhere. Oh, finally, he gets picked up. Down he goes. Now it's all riding on 6 card. Mercury applying a bit of a heel strat way off in the blue there. Just trying to inch back up in towards that zone, but also now succumbs to the brutal damage being brought in there by Papa Blue.
This.
And now,
this is it. This is a smart play.
Just trolling
on the
bridge.
Hi, boys. You won't get the point away from me. They're hindering the points that RRAGE are able to grab. It'll be 27 still in total for him, but only 15 going the way of Mezexis with the heel strat coming in at the end. And 6 God, he was not allowing them to get that 28th. And that could be a point that makes a hell of a difference. You know, when we come to the end, it can always just come down to such minimal margins. But a very crazy and not so beautiful game of Sanhok, but definitely fun for us to watch, DK.
Yeah, quite impressive plays that we saw coming in throughout the entirety of this match. And I mean, I gotta say, yeah, this was a really difficult match.
Yeah, it really was. We'll take a look at the overall scores, though, that we get up here on Sanhok. Like we saw, RRAGE rocking it by quite a far margin. KHK still up there, 4th place, 13 points total. Somalia stepping it back up as well. KHK Esports, right? Okay, it's only 5 points, but that's still pretty good. But that does go to show that points are going to be quite spread out now when we get to the other 8 teams in here. It's going to be quite a different affair to what we saw on Erangel.
Yeah, I mean, this is the important is they need to try and push the points. I mean, a good game coming in from Blackjack as well as FEINTED, really putting in the effort, trying to inch their way back up, trying to get those points in. But just looking at the sheer play coming in from the side of, for instance, KHK, they are also just chasing that top slot. And 4KT only managing 3 points in this match. But again, it's not too bad for them. They've already put in quite a bit of work yesterday, and it's already quite the impressive spot to be in, making it so difficult for teams to actually catch up to them.
And I might not be 100% right, but I think this is one of the worst games 4KT have had, but it's still 3 points. Obviously a very difficult game for sure, but that'll still see them at 90 points with 2 more games left for today. Like, they are definitely going over that 100 mark unless things go horribly wrong on Miramar and Erangel, which we have coming up next. And obviously, DK, we have to mention that good old Moist Max does not get to do Miramar, so we're sticking with me and you for this one, you know? He just has to chill and wait it out as always. There's no Miramar coming in for Max. You type in sad faces in Discord. We'll come back in 7 minutes, and it'll just be me and DK again, enjoying our Miramar madness. We'll see you in a few.
Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
We are halfway through the day and going on to our third match. It's Miramar that's coming up as always, and we get to see what these teams will be able to do. The pressure is on, the temperature is rising, not just on the map, but for the stress these teams are feeling when it comes to getting as many points as they need here, DK, because for some of them, it is so far away for them having success. And we'll take a look at that by looking at the overall rankings now to see where these teams are sat, because for some, it's looking pretty good. Slime 4KT still miles ahead, but plenty of other teams up in it. Obviously, it's a little bit. It was 20-point gap between them and other teams at the start of the day. Now it's just a 15-point gap, but they're still well up there at the top. But all the others dropping down just could take one game. They'll see themselves jump up quite massively in here. Rila Insider, they've been the slow burners working their way up across this as well. RRAGE have now come into the mix as well because today has looked pretty good for these guys.
Yeah, really, really healthy plays. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this lovely Miramar match. As we know, this is the match in which 4KT stepped up their gameplay yesterday. This is where they've got their first winner chicken dinner. So we saw just in yesterday's games that it is definitely possible to get back-to-back chickens. So we could maybe see a bit of an increase come in. But it is going to be quite a bit of pressure. I mean, KHK starting the day off with those chickens. And I mean, even the Drogons yesterday finding a chicken of their own, having a little bit more of a struggle coming into today's matches.
Yeah, today has been painful, right? It was 0 point in the first, 1 point in the second game of the day. The Drogons certainly going to look to try and turn that around in here. Gamers Unite Nations as well. They are starting to struggle a little bit more. Blackjack Esports, I'm just surprised to even see them down in 15th place. Fainted at the same time. They were adding a few points over and over again. It's mainly kill points that they're rocking with here because they're just not getting to the late game. They're not finding success in standing strong and standing long enough in these lobbies. And for them, right, I start to think like, okay, we're going to get to the halfway mark at the end of the day. For them to try and catch up, they would have to start to play like their most insane games we've ever seen here, DK.
Yeah, and I mean, you pointed it out rightly so. It's going to be so difficult for teams to bring in an absolutely amazing play. The longer they wait to start pushing and really performing, the harder it's going to get to close that gap. And I mean, already the difference between 1st and 16th place is already looking to be like a 75-point difference. So yeah, that could maybe be a little bit of a tall order.
It is certainly going to be tough. And it's about with these teams, right? You would have to kind of change things up to a point where you, like for me, I always look at it in strategy and how you play the game. If you change it too much, it could be disastrous, you know? You'd switch things up on such a big level that you as a team would not be ready. It would not be natural to you in how you would normally play the game. If you make small improvements, though, then it can be beneficial, but you may still be too far behind because it's not going to be drastic enough. So there's a real kind of, do we do this or do we do that comes into a lot of these teams' heads. And for these in-game leaders there, we're looking at it and thinking, what is the answer? What is the option? Maybe we are just not good enough. Maybe we're just not cut out right now to actually compete when it comes to this finals point. Because, you know, when it comes to the group stages, there's a fair few weaker teams in there. You can get these extra points. You can make things look good. Obviously, they still did it to get themselves into this top 16. That's very respectable. But it's not what's going to see you win the finals here. But as always, And for our third match of the day, we are born to win, as I welcome everyone to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones and dominate your PUBG mobile lobbies, as well as anything else you want to be playing. Now, when it comes to the playing path, not bad at all. We may hopefully get a normal circle, because Sanhok was a little bit mad when it all went down. But I do call Miramar, it's Miramar madness to me. I love it. I do want to see it happen. Please don't give me, listen, I'm doing it right, DK, don't give me island finish.
Okay, so then I won't say what I was about to say. I'll leave that till we know what's happening. I'm trying to evade the topic as much as I can, but this is definitely going to be one of those matches where the teams now have an opportunity to really start bringing it together. I mean, this could potentially be a match where they could look to 4KT and try to bring a halt to them gaining any more additional points. Because essentially the teams want to try and bring in a strategy that's different. So you were talking about changing it up so much that it becomes a little bit uncomfortable even for the team. So I definitely think that they should stick to their strengths. Stick to their guns, play what they know they can play, the style or the way that they know that they can play. And yeah, man, it is going to be absolutely essential to try and bring that in. And already a decent zone to come in. Strangely enough, it's not over towards the east, as we've seen time and time again. But MZR off to quite a bit of a banger of a start here. Already getting 2 knocks straight onto the side of Lag Esports.
Fantasy, he's going to have to land a big shot, but he's actually getting tagged up quite heavily. Turpis, he's been the clutch master we've seen in so many games. Big damage done, 3 knocks found, and he is not messing about, but Berserk wants to turn this around, but his teammates are going to try capitalize on it. Turpis will find himself going down. Shots are not quite being landed there, but he's still surrounded. Team Lag are eliminated in literally a couple of minutes of play coming in here. And wait a sec, Turpis, he didn't go down. Oh, they can still bring him up. He found cover. I thought I heard the shots of him being eliminated, but he stayed alive. Woo.
Wow. I mean, so this to me is a fantastic performance coming in from MZR. You know that they are one of those teams that had the opportunity to come into the finals. And man, they are just stepping up their gameplay. They are trying to prove why they deserve that slot, why they belong here. And with a gameplay like this, it's absolutely phenomenal. Already sitting in 12th place at the start of this match. Now 4 kills on board. It's looking to be a fairly good day for them.
And this is a good start on a map which will feed them a lot of confidence. Turpis individually, right? How many? We've seen him clutch out 2 big rounds,
Yeah.
Where he's eliminated teams and kept his teammates alive. And just then, he went and knocked 3 players. The 3rd player he was incredibly low against. And he just wrecked him. Okay, you can say, okay, he had the weapon advantage, was able to put himself in a better position. But that's still really solid coming out from an individual player. Time and time again, we're getting moments like this from him.
Yeah. I mean, Turpis, we've seen him do that 1v4 clutch in the group stage. So he definitely has the ability to bring in those insane plays. But I would like to see, that kind of... That effect kind of rub off on the rest of his team. I mean, imagine if the whole team would perform like that. Where would they then be on the overall leaderboard? I think they would have probably been way, way higher up. But, I mean, it is what it is. We sometimes see it in the teams that there's this one player that just stands out. He has this absolutely amazing game skill or gun skill when it comes to the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves, whether or not, we see that kind of rub off on the rest of the team. And another team that's also been impressing me quite a bit is the players here from Aphelion Apex. They've been consistent in group stage and now coming into finals. Again, really strong play from them as well.
Yeah, just coming back to that Erangel game, they set the highest pointed game that we've had so far from group stage and finals within the PMCO Africa. So let's see how much more he might be able to get done when it comes to all of this. Because Aphelion Apex certainly are a team that can challenge. Now, like you mentioned earlier, 4KT, they were the team that started to find their success when it came to Miramar. They also, in the last split, had a lot of success on Miramar. It's a keen map for them. And they love to start getting aggressive on it as well, right? They will hunt down teams and go in to try and find some success and pick up as many early kills as possible. And they do it very well as a squad. Usually when it came to the spring split, obviously we've only seen 2 games of them so far throughout this season, but in the spring split, you're often seeing Storm being the scout, going further ahead, finding out other things, even like sacrificing himself sometimes to be knocked or something to be put under pressure, and then the team would then work around it, so he'd be able to provide them with the details of what's going on from the other side. I want to see if that's still the style of play they go for sometimes, because for me, they have a very perfect mix of aggression and like smart plays and strategy when it comes to taking on these engagements. Finding that balance is so key. Not a lot of teams can do it. They can either be too aggressive or not aggressive enough sometimes.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. So it's gonna be interesting to see whether or not they've stuck to that same kind of dynamic. And already we do see oh sorry, that's Koa just grabbing the vehicle. I thought for a moment there that Storm was getting ready to roll on out and start, you know, exploring the region a little bit, but the team's all dropping into their drop locations, which we've seen them go to time and time again. So nothing really out of the ordinary with regards to those drop locations. But what's quite important is those follow-up rotations, moving in and looking at where the zone has centralized itself, smack dab center zone. That's actually so decent, so good for these teams, as they've just kind of got accustomed to, you know, those zones shifting over towards the eastern side. So I appreciate the zone being a little bit more centralized. Unfortunately, sadly, James, no islands even remotely in play.
Yeah,
but
didn't even tease me with
that's
it.
that's just the PUBG gods. That's just what they do.
I would love to know if there's like a stat on how many of the island finishes we've ever had. Then I could actually look at like a percentage of how often I may try and get it and how much more commentary I need to do on Miramar specifically to try and get it. It'd be like, if you commentate 695 matches, you will get 1 island finish. I'll be like, damn it, Miramar's only played once every 4 games. This is going to take a while.
Yeah, I mean, that could potentially maybe be accurate numbers. I mean, I would imagine just how many events are you going to have to broadcast or to cast on to get that done? Well, it's going to be absolutely insane. But yeah, we've got Clutcher coming in with the 3-wheel of death. This is one of those vehicles I really don't like.
Especially on Miramar. This is not what I want to be doing. Yeah. It's treacherous. Everything looks like you're going to fall off whenever you go over any bump. It's not doing badly. We should just keep watching. We should make a clutcher cam. Can we do that? We have a small camera just on him while he's on the... See? Ooh. Well held. Well handled. All right.
Good skill.
Pat on the back for you, Clutcher.
But that's the trick, I guess, with the vehicle is you gotta play with the accelerator, and that's what he was doing there. You know, he wasn't flooring it, and like this vehicle, the bus, you can floor the heck out of this thing, and it's just gonna do what it wants, regardless of what you're trying to tell it. And I mean, that could be quite an interesting play actually coming in here for Aphelion Apex. And Cheddar just so patient with the spray, waiting for that opportunity, landing it onto Stony, and off he goes. What?
Damn. Blown up, completely taken out of it. Aphelion Apex down a player already, and they did not know what hit him. I love the trigger discipline on Cheddar with that, though. He didn't take the first few shots. He wanted him to be open and exposed. You know, it forced him to veer off because he was so out in the open. But by that time he tried it, there was no hope at all. All hope was lost.
That was a big brain play right there. That was amazing. I mean, I would have probably just, I don't know, maybe missed a lot of those shots. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty jam-packed zone though as we get closer to that next phase. I mean, the second phase zone has popped. Oh, Slime right there alongside the Drogons, trying to get away. Beautiful reaction coming in from the Drogons. But now that repositioning coming in, Storm already starting to move up ahead, going to be looking to potentially set up a bit of an anchor point to gain some good entry into that zone. But Drogons, I'm really appreciating the gameplay they are bringing in this season.
Yeah, although today hasn't been ideal for them, they have certainly got some ideas behind them. We need to see the group stage players come back out if it is possible for them in a lobby that is as difficult as this. Because that's the thing we really have to look at, right, is the fact you have the 16 best teams right now facing it off in the finals. It becomes very different to when you're playing out through the group stages. You can't pin down on some teams and players and try bully them throughout all of it. Now Mezexis, we did start to see a bit more out of them, but they are still not in the perfect position just yet. Want to find themselves some success with it. KHK, again, they have been super consistent without it. They currently sit in second place without having had so many of these crazy games. They've just been up there, right? It's always been like top 5, top 6 for these guys. Obviously, finally getting the win today on Erangel was big for them. It helped them jump up a little bit further. But true, is he able to maybe find some success here? He catches a player standing around for too long. He could go in for the shots. Still got to praise Lewis for that Erangel play as well, because although he wasn't the one just picking up all the kills for the team, he actually put the hurt onto the other team around him to ensure that they could get that Erangel win coming through. Somalia, they're up to it. FEINTED. FEINTED, again, one of the teams at the bottom, and oh, blood. He goes to take the shots. The vehicle does provide a distraction. Look at the rest of KHK. I can't tell you if that's intentional or not, but the car caused the distraction. The rest of the players were looking at it, and then quickly, KHK jumped up, pounced all over him, and they got themselves the first kill. And this is MZR, who were happy to fight very early on in it. Turpis spraying on out, but can't quite find the knock there. He's got a good idea of where these players sit, but do they know exactly where he is right now?
I can tell you, Pennywise, he's definitely not clowning around at all today. We've seen some strong plays, especially over on towards Sanhok coming in. But now, trying to just make the most of this position. It is very centralized, and I'm actually quite curious to see whether or not that zone is going to move in towards Picado, because we haven't seen Picado finish actually come into fruition in quite some time. Well, I personally haven't seen a Picado finish in quite some time, but now... Yeah, I mean, that's almost, well, not exactly as rare as those island finishes, but moving into Picado, it is going to be such a challenging position to play in.
Have you jinxed it, or are we going to get it?
I don't know.
Wait for
Fingers
it.
crossed.
Ooh,
oh!
Close, you know, but
maybe I should have asked for the island.
Yeah. We could have done it. You are maybe the opposite to a curse when it comes to choosing the circle. So you say what you want, DK, and I'll say what I don't want. And hopefully the double luck will chime in and we'll find this.
I think that's the thing, maybe. Maybe it could work. We got 2 more days to try it.
Plenty of time to get... Oh, there we go. True. Managed to take down Pennywise. And this is where KHK do need to be careful. You see, he's been so patient. Remember, he spotted him out ages ago. A good couple of minutes. Oh, woo! Jairbot. That was like a laser beam. A great distance as well. Nearly takes him out. Gonna force the first aid kit to be used. Oh, true. We of course capture that. Good work, observers. Any little fails, the players will be seen. Pounds was not escaping that one at all. Another car blown up. That's 2 already in this game. Players finding themselves in precarious positions. They don't want to try and fight from. Nerf me. Have some success here with the Mini. He wants to be able to avenge his fallen teammate. Potato's just going to get in the car and get the hell out of there. Doesn't want to stick around for it. Sully's on the floor and they're just going to leave him to bleed on out.
It's not a bad call, though. I mean, that is a little bit of a pressure position. And, yeah, oh, that is going to be a very risky rotation for Potato to try and pull off with BJE just lasering down the hits. But now, Young Thunder actually come rushing up. Leonidas, he's just trying to hold that down. Unfortunately, this is not Sparta, but he's going to have to try and bring that play in, quickly deploying the smoke. He's trying to cover his way. But there's a lot of pressure now on here for Leonidas to try and bring this one in. I mean, he is pretty... Oh, it's such an exposed position. The spray's coming in there from Executive. He's going to find it. Oh, yes, indeed. Down he goes as Romeo closes it up, and down goes the side of FEINTED Africa.
Once again, FEINTED, one of the early teams out of it. It is not going their way. Right at the bottom of the scoreboard. And they are struggling over and over again when it comes to these lobbies. It feels like it was a lifetime ago that Lag were taken out by MZR, wasn't it? Like, before we saw any other team get eliminated, it's been such a big gap. But 2 minutes to the 15-minute mark. But a team we do speak quite positively about is G3. And Miramar be the spot where they find some success in here. This KHK and MZR fight is still potentially going on as they are very close to each other, and Jairbot has a good idea of what could be happening. Turpis is on the floor, but he's trying to crawl his way out to Clutcher. That nade's not going to get quite close enough, though. That's not going to work out in the favor of KHK. But more nades are going forward. More knocks are coming through. They've only got Clutcher left to find. He would like to try and get the revive, but it's not going to work out. They're right on top of him, and it's an easy finish off. 4 kills found. KHK stayed right on top of MZR, quite literally at the end of that one. And they will net themselves to 4 kills, and they can successfully continue their rotation, knowing that they will have no one else behind them. They have the space now.
Oh, but now Zeke getting caught out in the open there. A little bit of a interesting position there for Zeke. I'm not quite sure if he was trying to potentially maybe scout it out, but now the rest of Rila Insider actually will trip, rotating in the exact position. What is going on here?
That did not make much sense at all. That was the easiest kill for 4KT to find. There's only 2 more Rila Insider players, and maybe they would just back away from this. Like you got to try get in the circle, sure, but you don't really want to challenge a 4KT that loves to fight and has a huge numbers advantage over you. There's no way to get into Zeke.
I mean, that's where I would focus on getting back into that zone. I mean, they do have a good potential up ahead. Drogons do occupy the compound just ahead of them, so it is going to be a little bit of a risky rotation. But now with the disengage coming in from 4KT, we move over towards Picado, the northern side, and Gun, wow, facing quite a bit of a challenge here. Nerf me, super low on that health bar, but he has quite a bit of company right here alongside him. G3 and Team Somalia are going to be sending it in, finding it right on point, and with that, Gun get eliminated in that 13th place. And yeah, man, it's looking pretty tough. The competition is stacked here.
It really is. It's becoming quite wild straight away. Any team can take any team on any given Sunday. Rila find themselves going down. I don't know who did the final damage on towards them, but it was the start off of 2 players being eliminated by 4KT. And we knew it was a very hard spot for them to try and get out of. Oh, now 4KT up against Aphelion Apex. In the car, shots being hit, nice damage being done, and once again, they're just ripping teams apart. Leston's now on his own, and, well, I don't know. What do you want to do here, buddy? You could try and run away, but even that's going to be difficult. Nades come out towards him. They've got him surrounded. Oh, this is beautiful. Aimer. He heard it. He knows what's up. Not the most ideal nade, but you'll allow him that.
Oh. Wow.
Happens so quickly.
Yeah.
Slime just seem to have like an extra gear they shift into. Maybe they like they rest a bit, you know, they save their energy for the first 2 matches, and they just come alive when it's Miramar. Well, I'm gonna start calling their home ground. And the last Erangel game, they're like, yeah, we got the full confidence for it. Could it happen again? Obviously, there's still 10 teams left alive in this. And Mezexis now want to try and challenge them. 1 player is going to be found and knocked down. That's Koa down on the floor for now. They've got a lot of smoke to cover him up, so it's not a problem just yet. The blue starts to come in as well, and 4KT are still going to have quite a way that they need to push on forward throughout this. Mezexis need to get all of their players out of that blue, but it's RRAGE in front of them at the same time. They're throwing down their own smokes, making sure they've got plenty of cover before this does go down, but the other teams are just sending it. Zane pokes on up from Blackjack Esports, though. They weren't ready for that. They didn't expect it at all. They also need to be careful that Mezexis don't push from behind them. They don't want to have to deal with 2 teams at once. A third party is certainly possible. Oh, this is back and forth. Blackjack Esports looking to hold the line and push them back. No revive. Well, he's going to go for the revive. He's deciding for it. Cheddar's coming the extra backup on it. Mezexis at the top at the same time. Good damage being done, but it's just exchanges coming on through. RRAGE, what are they going to try and do here? Frozen gets eliminated instantly there. 5 kills now found for RRAGE. 4 in total there for MG out of those 5. He'll be the point man of the game for these guys as it is. But Mezexis is pushed now. could be coming at the right time if they want to go fast enough, but look who's joined the party once again. 4KT heard it all. They moved themselves further forward, and now they want to be the ones to hold these players off and push them back. Smokes are being used. Aimer needs to be careful. There's so many angles that you can be seen from here. But this is not easy. Nades are going up. He has no idea. Koa, he does find the cover.
I mean, this is just such an insane position to be in. 4KT, they just love to apply that pressure. Now Mezexis finding a little bit of spray onto the side of BJE. This is a healthy spot to be. But now it's up to Hawkson and Mercury to try and bring it in. Comes with a quick spray. Vile just on the opposite end. They're just absolutely on point with the nades though. Mercury just trying to huddle up behind that vehicle. The pressure is on 4KT. They're not only worried about those third parties, they are going to try and take engagements in any which way they can. This is what makes it like such a tough lobby. The shots come through. Oh, what? Mezexis ends up the players there from Blackjack. But now, Mezexis applying the pressure onto 4KT. Will they be able to get it done? It's up to Storm and Koa. Oh, wow. Down goes Mercury. Beautiful play.
10 kills found already. Beautiful stuff once again from Slime 4KT. The revive's going to come on through, but there's a lot of shots going into that smoke already. We now join up with INF going up against Somalia. And Somalia only with 2 players left in it. Vindex doesn't want to take this blue damage ideally. It's going to start tanking him up quite heavily. He's right on the edge of it all as well. You're close to the circle, but you can't really move here. And look who's just standing by. G3. Just across the road from him saying, I heard some noise, boys. Do you want to come out at any point? Come for a little chat? We'll be nice, we promise.
Well, I mean, this could be a really good game for the side of G3. They've got that zone right in front of them. They've got Team Somalia already taking quite a bit of a beating. Beast and El Chapo just trying to survive, trying to make the play here. But the pressure is still on over on towards that western side of the zone. As we can see, KHK and the Drogons now getting into a bit of a tussle here. JR trying to hold on. Will he be able to pull it off? Up comes the jump shots, the sprays. Oh, what?
Oh, this is crazy. Huh? 10 kills up as well now for KHK. That's them and Slime 4KT dominating the lobby. They're looking for some cover, but it's not going to work out. And they're also sat in the blue at the same time. Crawling forward isn't going to work out. Somalia get eliminated. 5 teams are still here in it. KHK trying to escape in their vehicles, but they need to be careful they don't get shot at. Look how low one of the players is inside that car at the same time. Slime, they're straight on it. Damage to be done, and they eliminate them. Brilliant work once again. Slime find themselves just in the right spot. 13 kills. The dominance is there, and they love to fight. They love to be aggressive, and they like these open areas. This is where they won in a similar style, right? Not the same location, but a similar style in terms of it being so open terrain last time around.
Wow. I mean, look at this. There's still 9 kills up for grabs for 4KT. So they could still be looking to push that 20 kill once again. Flacco sends it straight up into Vindex. But up comes Pronto, just lasering through, trying to get those shots back in to G3. The G3 now trying to play this ridge line, coming in with a little bit of a response over on towards 4KT. But Young Thunder also still in the mix. The 3 final teams now duking it out for that winner chicken dinner right here on Miramar. It is 4 players across the board. 5 kills for Young Thunder, 4 for G3, and 13 under the belt for 4KT.
14 as well if any of these confirms come through as they just knock down Buden. And we have not seen a 4v4v4 for a long time. Always we've had teams that are dwindling on numbers. That crate takes its place nearly towards the center. Young Thunder may have the compound to a degree, but they're going to have to move soon enough. 4KT are playing behind their vehicles and the dips that they can see in front of them. But that circle shift massively benefiting G3. Everyone else is going to have to move towards them. And they can just hold their line, hold their ground for as long as they want. This is G3's to lose. This should be theirs all day long as they play it correctly. And they're still fighting. They want the extra kill points in there. They're confident and believing in themselves. How do you move from here, man? It's going to have to be smoked non-stop. Young Fun already starting to deploy theirs. Slime got enough. They already used some of them. Oh, plenty of shots coming through the smoke. Koa finding the knocks. That's exactly what you want to see of your Slime 4KT. Can they get the confirms? More shots coming on out. Storm, he's hungry to put the end to all of it here. So many bullets, so many shots. More's getting confirmed in there. But at the same time, Aimer, Storm, they've been put on the floor. They maybe stood up far too long as G3 tried to capitalize on it. 15 kills now found for Slime 4KT. They've lost Storm to the Storm. Well, Aimer will be able to be put back on his feet. He's going to try and get himself up. Young Thunder with just 2 players in it. G3 still incredibly healthy. They should be looking at this all day long. More points going the way of G3. Not a huge amount of kills just yet. They're seeing some of the players start to try and cross. But is it even going to be possible? 4KT are being ripped apart before they've even seen anyone. They're going to be trying to grab a second place. But if they could win this, it would be insane. They're just heavily outnumbered and outgunned at this stage. And this is looking like G3's all day long.
Then this has been absolutely insane. 4KT now reduced down to 2. G3 looking so confident in the zone. Still sitting on a 4 squad. Just playing this textbook game. But Pronto makes a quick rush. Oh, down goes Koa. Oh, man.
A 28-point game for Slime. Even if they didn't get the win in G3 temper, they grabbed themselves one. We spoke about them during groups, getting 3 wins in one day and looking oh so good. This time the zone went their way. They started to fight at the right time as well. They held on to their position and they were not scared of jumping up. And as soon as they saw that Young Thunder and 4KT were fighting, they were right up in it, taking shots at all of them. But overall, you've got to say, 4KT, Miramar, this is their stomping ground. This is their home ground. This is where they feel most confident and they will fight anyone because this is back-to-back. They have been finishing in top places in terms of getting the most points across these games. We'll take a look at the match rankings now, but DK, this was wild.
It was absolutely on fire. I mean, the Slime 4KT, they just evolve into a different kind of beast when it comes to the map of Miramar. Insane plays, just missing out on yesterday's performance with 4 kills. That's it, just 4 kills away from another insane play like we saw yesterday. And KHK, again, really healthy performance, coming in with a 10-point kill there. And G3 just finishing strong, 9 kills on board. And I think all three of these teams would be quite satisfied with the performance they brought in. Yes, they obviously can nitpick at that, but in general, a beautiful play. Well done.
Really solid stuff in there. KHK Esports, again, working their way up with a few more points in here, but they've got a long way to go overall. The Drogons, okay, it's been 0, 1, and now 2. Ideally, they're going to have to end really well on the final Erangel game. Lag, fainted, 0, gun again. They really seem to struggle with the pressure when they get to these final points because it's not the same team we see throughout the group stages in here. And that is certainly starting to become a massive problem here. But already we're at the final game of the day, and that will take us to the halfway mark, DK. We're going to be taking me out of the equation. We're going to be bringing Moist Max back into the action. So chat, you know what to do. Give him some love. Give him the Moist Max spam, and we will enjoy this from start to finish. We're back in 7 minutes. DK and Max will take you through the final game.
5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Three games already now in the books for today, and one more game to come, and is going to go right back to the grassy pastures on Erangel. And of course, as you might see, James Banks is not here anymore, so it's going to be myself and DK bringing you the action this time around. And DK, we had a very short break, you know, we had a lot of things that happened we're going to break down. But before we actually talk about what DK did in a break, because it's very interesting, we're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to look at the overall rankings to see exactly where the teams are currently standing before heading into this final game today. And Slime 4KT, 118 points right now, DK. That is an average of just below 17 points per game over 7 games. That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's absolutely on fire. But I mean, it's no surprise. 4KT, they came into the finals looking to like retain their title as the winners of PMCO Africa. And man,
yeah,
they're putting in a lot of effort to get that job done.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing great. They had the belt, the WWE belt, and they want to hold on to it. No one's going to take their belt away from them. That is for sure. We're going to see how things are looking. My team that I did say I'm hoping to do well, Team Lager, struggling a little bit, starting to fall behind, but still, they're just shy of our top 8. So we'll see one good game and they could be up there. But Blackjack Esports and Gun, not going to lie, DK, I've been a little bit surprised to see this team struggle so much. 14th for Blackjack and 15th for Gun. I was not expecting that, seeing how things were working in the group stage.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a difference. I mean, last season we had a 160 and a 121 for both those teams. So yeah, it is quite surprising.
Quite surprising indeed. But once again, do not forget that this game of Erangel is brought to you by the one and only people at Oppo. As always, we are born to win. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with a much-loved Reno 5 series. And here we go, DK. After this one, we are now hitting the 50% point mark here of these finals. So teams need to make long an impression while they still can. But DK, we had a break, and you told us, me and James, that 5 minutes is all you needed to devour pizza, and you did stay true to your word. Do you have a special technique you can teach us at home?
Easy. Open your mouth, pick up a slice.
No way. I don't believe that. Nah. Impossible.
You can ask the producer because he could see my camera feed while I was eating.
Did he record it? Wait, Alan, producer, did you record? Okay, our producer can actually confirm that he just devoured that pizza in 5 minutes. I want to see that. I need that footage.
Oh, well, order me a pizza and I'll show you.
Hey, nice one.
Or any food.
That's it. We got the pizza. Hey, we got Moist Max. We got James Banks. I had to find the button there for a second. And we got Pizza God DK. And we got some good titles around there. We just need to find one for James now. I have to think of one.
It's difficult though.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, you know, the meme was like average enjoyer and then chill, laid back enjoyer or something, like the meme where you got one guy talking really fast and then you have a chat to the right. Yeah. I would just have you like devouring the pizza on the left, like world record pizza eater, and then just normal pizza enjoying the right. I'll just see you devour it really quick in like 30 seconds. That'll be insane. Though, playing path, we did see you being relatively northern, so no one will try to go for the Sofnovka Island position as of right now, which I think is a good thing. Though, I am seeing a little bit of action right now, DK in Northern George. And that is once again FEINTED, just currently standing in 16th, surrounded by players. There's not going to be a good position. Team Somalia are looking to try and maybe get a few early frags on FEINTED.
It could definitely be quite an interesting position for both FEINTED and Team Somalia. I mean, I'm liking the fact that teams are trying things a little bit differently, just trying to get a jump on each other. But sometimes you got to ask the question, at what cost does that happen? I mean, FEINTED, they're not really in a position where they can afford to get sent back early just yet. I mean, we do see them sitting on a grand total of only 15 points. Looking at the players here from Team Somalia, it's a little bit of a different story. They're sitting on 48 points. So that's a little bit more than double the amount of points. Or almost, yeah, like 2.5 times more. So definitely they need to be so careful with how they take this engagement, especially now talking about the players here from FEINTED. But it could be a healthy amount of points should they decide to move in and apply a bit of pressure to Team Somalia. And they succeed in that.
I would be careful maybe approaching FEINTED, because I did see one of the players actually get an M249. Of course, you need to get the increased ammo capacity for that weapon to actually shine as bright as it possibly can, but an M249 with 50 bullets is still a relatively deadly weapon, so we'll see how FEINTED are going to try and work around that. I still can't believe that just a few months ago, the M249 was not available like this, and you had to get in crates, and it would be absolutely broken, but now it's just a normal weapon that you have everywhere. So, I don't know, have you seen any, like, what's your opinion, basically, I'm going to ask, around the M249 right now and how teams have been able to play it for a few months now? What's your opinion on it? Do you have one?
I mean, I've actually seen quite a few teams really utilize the M249, using it in especially the CQC, because I think that is where it works the best. In close quarters, if you open that thing up, seeing that it's got such a big amount of ammunition to utilize, that's your typical spray and pray. But we've now actually seen the teams actually utilizing it, not just spraying for the sake of spraying. They actually use it in the exact opportunities where it could actually serve them best. So I think it could, it's a bit of a game changer there. I mean, learning how the M24 works, when best to utilize it, I think it is an absolute essential key for the success of a few teams.
I would agree. The one thing that I think that this weapon does best more than any other is pre-fire around corners. You just have 150 bullets if you, of course, have the increased ammo capacity, which is what you're hoping to get when you unlock an M249, and you just pre-fire the entire way. And if someone tries to dodge, well, because of the fire rate, even if you're trying to dodge it, you're going to be hit by 2-3 bullets bare minimum, and a few more on that, and you're instantly knocked. So I just think it's a great weapon when you're trying to, once again, get in that close quarter combat, as you did mention. So yeah, I would have to fully agree with what you just mentioned there. So, as we are looking at the start of this game, nobody has yet to go down. No knocks, no damage, no shots have been taken, and no players have been sent back into the lobby, which is great. As you said many times, you've got so many more Erangels compared to the other maps of Sanhok, and also the other map that I forgot the name because I haven't casted it in so long. So, yeah, it's great to see that we're going to be having some teams actually understanding the rotations, the drops, which, of course, come into this PMCO is what we are hoping to see. But this very eastern, northeastern, actually, should I say, Phase 1 circle. Teams are very aware of how to play this position. They're very comfortable. They're very experienced in it. So teams already trying to slowly move in, such as, for example, Team Lag, that we're looking at the standings right now, potentially on that. No, that's not the standings. We'll see the standings. I'll put back at some point. But when you're looking at Team Lag, they're currently standing in overall 10th position. This is one of the teams that I mentioned, DK. We need to see a good game, because if you're on the bottom page at the end of today, it is going to be very, very hard to really move yourself up and try and contest with the top 3 at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to see them lagging behind with regards to points. So hoping to see a bit of an improvement coming in. I just had to sneak it in. Come on.
Is that the first time this joke was done? Is that
no?
The first?
No.
I think it was.
Many times.
I think so.
Yeah.
GG.
Especially with me in there, it's gonna happen a lot. But I gotta say though, this zone sitting over on towards that northeastern side, as you pointed out, I think it's gonna be so interesting to see how the teams play with that, especially having that northern region entirely open. And once the second phase pops in, I think it's gonna be so crazy to see what exactly they bring to the table and how they're gonna try and play that, because Yasnaya potentially being where the zone could finish. I mean, that is quite a challenging position to be fighting in.
Yeah, of course. That could be a little bit of a hard one. We'll see how they're going to try and work around that one, as FEINTED are indeed already starting to move in. RRAGE Africa also trying to move out of that position from Savernia, where they typically drop over here on Erangel. So So far, nothing really out of the ordinary. We're pretty much used to how things are going. Though, I'm going to talk about lag again. Come on, there's one tree. How do we spot... James is really on the money when he said that every time our observers just catch people crashing when there's literally no reason to. I don't know. Hey, respect. So, to touch back on lag, well, actually... Initially, I thought they were going to go center, but they actually went towards the coastal line right up north of Lipovka, which I don't know what you think, DK. I think it's an original approach. They're maybe trying to guess how the circle's going to rotate and how the algorithm's going to function. I think that's a little bit of a risk because you know that with further circles, there's a very big chance that they're going to be having to move a lot when they were one of the most central teams right off the bat in a circle. I don't know what you would think about that, but I'm a little bit surprised that Lag would go for such a potential risk later on down the line.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what they've got in mind and what they're trying to bring in, but for the time being, that far eastern position is not bad at all. They know at least when they're facing back onto the land, everything behind them is just water, so they should feel fairly comfortable with that position. But just looking at the sheer number of teams we still have left, I mean, everyone is still up. It could be a position that could get challenged. I mean, especially now with INF being so close to them.
Could be the case. A lot of shots back and forth. Ghost. Oh, Flacco is actually going to get prone. Just got to be careful. You're showing your back. Flacco does spot that out. He makes it a little bit further down. Does lose a little bit of that elevation. But if you go further away, if you stick out of that ridgeline, Flacco might have a chance to actually knock you down. But Flacco makes it back into the buggy. Back towards this team he goes. Not really worth the attempt. So I like to see that coming out. I was going to ask you, DK, actually, because you talked about your eating pizza prowess. What pizza actually was it? What toppings?
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork, okay.
Yeah,
just pulled pork, nothing else?
Yeah, and I pulled the lid open and then pulled it in.
Was that a joke because of pulled pork?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
A very lame one. But yeah, it's one of those, you know. I think I can...
You're fully ready to be a dad. I'm just telling you that, man.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times. I mean, people have asked me, do you have any children? I'm like, none that I'm aware of. And then I'm like, they're pretty sure I've got some. I'm like, I don't know. No one has, stepped up and claimed anything just yet. But, hey, it is the way it is, you know? Like, I'm cool whichever way. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. They got himself the increased ammo clip. Cue the James Banks message of, wow, is that a McLaren I see there? Wow, that is such a cool car. Max, I'm sure you wish you had it.
Ooh, down goes Plaza. Cheddar just so on point with the hits though. I mean, wow, Short Boy also getting knocked. What's going on here?
Yeah, you don't want to push that compound. It is really hard to get close. Of course, if you make it to the little ridgeline to surround the compound, then sure you might have a living chance of making it work, but really, is it worth the attempt? Is it worth the effort? Most of the time, not really, unless it is really, really center on the circle, which is not even the case. It is not that great of a spot right now, so I would say just let it go. Not really worth pushing it super far right now. You just got to wait and see if it's going to be in phase 3, phase 4. If that's the case, then maybe it would be worth breaching in such a way. They're going to go for the other hospital in Yasnaya Polyana over to the east for the time being. Though it seems I'm really happy we're moving to this position. Big heads up to the observers. This is a really good rotation. I'm really enjoying. Up north, east of Stolba is going to be the side of MZR. Going for a rotation like that. Team Somalia also. So these two teams are doing a very special rotation. Just a very good one to try and avoid teams. I have no issue with that. That's a big 10 out of 10 rotation. I think it's great. It's big brain, and you're literally having no skirmishes to fight to get into the circle.
Yeah, a really, really healthy rotation. But what's not so healthy is this late rotation coming in from the side of 4KT. Yeah. They're just trying to slide into that zone. I mean, they still have 3 players up, so we can see Fex and Storm now trying to push on in. Aimer still just enjoying, the scenery over towards Everest. So I'm curious to see at what point and where they're going to be entering into that zone.
Oh, see. But of course, if you are aware with the anime world and you watched that time it got reincarnated into a slime, you would know that slimes are pretty damn broken. So don't be too don't be too overzealous when you go against them. They will strike you down given the chance, but they're still going to go for the slow rotation dart. I think since the spring split, they're pretty much renowned for. So no big surprise on that end. Circle 2, though, about to close off. You can see the blue zone is slowly starting to wrap around. There's one rock. Hey, it's true. when James said that, I thought he said it randomly, but no, man, he is right. They just catch every single little thing. It's absolutely insane, but they're going to get a little bit closer to Young Thunder. Of course, Young Thunder, another one of those teams that started off the day on a little bit of the lower side, but they got some decent results as of lately, mostly focused around positioning points. They may be lacking a few more kills, but Young Thunder are a team that has the potential to be at the very, very top after these next 2 days of play, so they got to keep getting consistent points, and they could be the big surprise at the very end.
Yeah, and I mean it's quite saddening to a certain degree, looking at where we see some of these teams positioned currently, and they're going to have to bring in some really miraculous gameplay in the remaining matches, the final 2 days, to just bring it in and get themselves into that position. But speaking about position, we do see the players here from Team Somalia and Lag now caught in a bit of an awkward position as they are making their way back up into zone. Lag now just hugging the edge of the coastal line, trying to find safe passage, but right up ahead we do see the players there from Mezexis also just making their way in, and this whole eastern side of the zone is going to be absolutely jam-packed. Almost all the teams aside from 4KT and the Drogons are over towards the east.
I'm surprised no team has thought, because of this circle shift, there's going to be a big concentration of teams from the east. Because I would say my speciality, yes, I have a speciality, I'm not just bad at math. I also have stuff that I'm decent at. I think I'm good at understanding how teams rotate in circles. I would look at this circle and say a lot of teams will try and center up in a circle like this because they don't have any compounds, not really advantageous terrain. So I know a lot of teams are going to come in from the east and trying to enter through that position. If I'm a team that's up north or down south, for example, what Young Thunder are attempting to do is wrap around up north or down south and enter through that specific means. I think that will be a great rotation. If you do that, you're showing that reading circles is something that you can indeed achieve. So to hearing a lot of shots currently happening. Teams are already trying to get closer and closer to each other, right on top of each other. Shelter is already a big point of contention between a few of these teams. We're seeing RRAGE, we're seeing FEINTED, we're seeing RRAGE Africa. But at least it is Shelter, so you can very easily shelter more than 2 teams. 3 teams is going to be the limit, and they're going to try and share that position right now. But it seems like a lot of teams have been able to find a few positions, but some casualties have been starting to arise, and that is where some teams will start to falter more and more.
Yep, Full G already getting taken right on down, and now it is up to Godzilla and the rest of the players for the team of FEINTED to try and defend. Godzilla just hiding down below. Zero Leonidas looking to set up a bit of a defensive position.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice hit though from Lewis.
Yeah, M249 in hand. Great headshot connecting there. Of course, it's not going to result in a kill, so that is fine, but it's still going to result for a Rose to come on through, a little bit of time lost on the side of RRAGE, and also some damage being done to, that was a headshot, I believe it was, so there's going to be the helmet also just going to be taking a little bit more damage, and also some resources such as meds, such and such, are going to be used up. So it's great to see. Another headshot will be coming out from Nerf Me. That was another one of the players, talking about it earlier, actually, with James, and you had 2 players, Spring Split, they were really good at long-range fighting, and you had these 2 players, one of those being Darkness, and one of those players being Nerf Me. And Nerf Me with the Mini 14 absolutely shredding it last season and also this season, it seems, from what we are seeing in the kill feed. But Shelter, the thing is, there's a chance that the circle's not going to end on top of it, of course. Never know. Oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna shut up, I guess. Shelter finish, potentially. Woo, great.
Yeah, but you know what was the kicker? It's because of the and such. That's how you know it's going to be a Shelter potential finish when the and such come into play. Because it's one thing using the meds and using the ammo and the utilities, but once and such gets deployed, that's it. Like that's the point.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. I love getting dunked on by you and James. I don't know, man. It's just, yeah, I cannot live without it. I need it. I need it in my life. Wouldn't be complete otherwise. Berserk, though, find himself a nice angle onto Gunner. And Gunner, without smokes, I think that is pretty much done and dusted for him. So we'll see if he can try and get himself back on his 2 feet. Slacko's just going to go for a little bit of a wider rotate. Yeah, in the circle at least, they can try and hold some other teams outside in the blue. But Lag still up as a 4-man, despite the unusual rotation we spotted out earlier when they went to the northern side, right up north of Lepufka. Yeah, this is hard. When you're looking at them, this is not going to be an easy entry point. There's a lot of teams currently clustered around the east, and this is where the start to see these big fights and potentially seeing our first team go down as Zemzadar. Going to have to fight tooth and nail to even just make inside this circle.
Yeah, and G3 also now just trying to smoke it up, trying to get up behind that hard cover, and gonna have a pretty tough time there. Looking to potentially get raised on in. We can see his teammates, they are moving slightly closer, but there is still a little bit of distance. But the absolute spray down are coming in on this eastern front. Lag, as well as the players there from Mezexis now fighting it out over in towards the southeastern side. Center zone seems to be fairly quiet, but INF, we can see they have now started to make their way in. NerfMe also now just getting eliminated, and this is going to be a really crazy fight moving into the zone. And once this blue zone closes in, that next phase pops, it is going to be absolute hell that breaks loose on this map.
Yeah, not going to be too easy. We'll see where it's going to be going, of course, for the next shift. KHK got themselves to a really strong compound. They're hoping that they're not going to have to move because they're so comfortable right now. It's such a cozy compound. But unfortunately, of course, we know that the circle might have a really big chance of actually not going in their favor. So we'll see if it's going to end actually on top of Shelter itself. And if that is the case, if it goes on Shelter, one thing we see quite a lot, DK, in this kind of finishes is heal-offs. One player down in the guts of Shelter and one right on top, and you're going to have the heal-off. That is something to also keep in mind. So if some teams are trying to predict the circle, you might want to try and put all your first days, or at least most of them, on one player to try and make up for something like that happening in the near future. You never know. We'll have to see. It's down to the shift. Mezexis are getting approached upon by Team Lag. Mezexis trying their best to move away from this one, and they're going to get closed up by Team Lag. Mezexis, a few shots going to be exchanged back and forth, of course, and the nades are coming out. Zero is going to get picked up actually by the UMP play. Now, things are definitely not going great as Mezexis are trying their best to fight, but MZR are the ones that are now currently in the thick of things as they need to move 3G3. But that is not going to be an easy task at hand.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough one, as we can see also. It is just getting tougher and tougher to try and secure a decent position. That center point looking pretty golden, but the zone moves and it stays over on towards the western side, though. Quite in favor of the players there from Young Thunder, actually. And FEINTED, as well as 4KT, still looking pretty decent, pretty strong. But Gun coming in with that 2-2 split. Short Boy Slim all the way over towards the eastbounds, situated on that western front. And now Lag... experiencing a little bit of problems over on towards that far eastern edge.
This is such a good position from Young Thunder. Really, if they have the amount of protection that they're hoping to have, hopefully they got themselves a few cars, they can build some makeshift fort with those cars, then that would be the single best position and highest ground position in this entire circle, so they will have a huge advantage. Mezexis, though, haven't yet put that killing blow onto Lag. They're trying to find that angle onto Fantasy. That smoke is going to buy him a lot of precious time. He gets the intel to Matrix 4. Second Matrix going to be able to go back. A little bit of a pre-fire from Fantasy. Unfortunately, not going to result in too much happening right now. The Pyro, this is so good for Mezexis, I got to say. DK, such a good wraparound. There's literally zero escape potential for Fantasy. The only way he can really take this one is to eliminate the entirety of Fantasy. Oh, sorry, the entirety of Mezexis, should I say. He's going to have to heal up. He's only got 2 more first aid kits. He knows that his time is now counted in potentially sheer minutes.
It's going to be crazy Blaze, and this is now up to Fantasy to try and grab that, well, not the buggy, because it's on fire. But he's going to try and find a good approach back into zone as the pressure is on. Blue zone is closing in. We're seeing a lot of teams now starting to converge, just rushing for that position. And this is where Shelter now just starts to erupt and come alive, with all the teams now fighting, trying to secure a decent position in the zone. It is going to be a bloodbath.
It's something you want to keep in mind when you're fighting in Shelter, is that it is really easy to defend Shelter. Like, it's hard to push you out of that position. But when you're going to have to move away from it, you're so predictable, right, DK? Because you only got one entry point and one exit. And if teams know you're going to move out, they just pre-fire and you're pretty much done. Block you out with smokes, mollies, grenades, flashbangs. Use everything in your arsenal, and it's almost impossible to move out Shelter. So you got to eliminate the teams around you to make that a lot easier. Though we are going to be seeing Aphelion Apex trying to move in. They're going right up against so many teams currently. RRAGE going to be at their Slime 4KT, also going to be in a similar position. KHK have already abandoned their own compound, so they need to absolutely shred the competition if they want to have even the slimmest opportunity to make in the circle. Sicko, I believe, currently the only player remaining for the team. He's got another one maybe right next to him. But regardless, now teams are slowly but surely slipping on down. Gun did lose the entire team. Lag Esports also going to get eliminated out of this one. And also that will be the case for Blackjack as they get taken out, as you can see on the top left of your screen. The Northeast is completely congested with teams there, DK. And that is where the action is really starting to unfold.
Oh man, this zone is just looking so insane. This whole position over towards Shout here, just all so jam-packed and everyone fighting it out. RRAGE trying to potentially breach. G3 get eliminated. 4KT holding on in the underground. Apex also right there alongside them. You can see Siko and Stoney's now just trying to inch their way up, trying to find a good approach into the zone. But with 11 teams still alive, it is going to be quite the fight, quite the challenge to try and secure a decent position. And I mean, this kind of forces the teams to try and play this whole shelter position here.
Yeah, G3 did get taken out, so now Slime are feeling very comfortable in this potential game to remain on the top of the mountain in the standings. Frozen going to be jumping on down. Big pre-fire from all these weapons. They're able to still pick himself one. Going to hide behind this car, and that is such a good angle picked up by Slay as they get rid of KHK, get rid of the competition. 8 kills over to RRAGE. But Slime 4KT, they're left, so there's literally no threat to RRAGE. All you have to do is heal up, get ready, get to the ridge line, and fight from that position. But from what I see, DK, I think they're barely outside of the circle, so they're going to have to fight on top of that road.
Oh, it's going to be so tough. I mean, Young Thunder and Drogons looking absolutely golden in this phase. Team Somalia also moving up from the south there on that edge of the road. It's going to be so crazy, but Zero just zeroes in on Storm, sends a beautiful grenade in his direction. Pyro also getting taken out in the background, but will Zero be able to get that confirmed and trying to pick up as many points as they possibly can?
Yeah, fortunately, not a great shack to hold on to. That is one of the hardest to hold on to. So easy to nade, and that is going to be a lesson heavily learned by Storm for sure. The rest of 4KT, they're going to be trying to close that gap. Aimer is ready to go hard onto Fainted. M249 in hand. We talked about it. That pre-fire, that is how things are going to go south real quick for Slime 4KT if that weapon is used properly. The pin, another fight. RRAGE trying to full send it, and they just got picked up. They just gave 3 kills on the silver platter over to Drogons that have been now having the best of day, DK. So it's great to see that they're actually getting a few more kills. 7 so far. This is their game where they could have allowed themselves to get back in the running.
Yeah, definitely could be the game for them to take, but now it is still going to be quite a bit of a fight coming in over on towards that eastern side. We can see the players there from Fainted also now getting eliminated. 4KT and INF still in the mix. 4KT down below in the shelter. That blue zone is closing and it's going to force their hand. Apex get eliminated, and now our final 6 teams are going to get ready to fight for some reason. Vex not having his back covered there.
Hey man, sometimes you get those cookies. Your mum says the cookies are ready. You gotta go get them, you know? Jump out. Aimer gonna try his best to get himself a 1v2, but unfortunately, it cuts itself a little bit too short. 8 kills over to Influence Rage Africa. And now they have a mission. They're going for the double digits, but Potato gets picked up instantly. Vindex is now gonna be stranded as a solo player. Team Somalia in the shadows of this entire fight, avoiding shelter as much as possible, and it heavily helped out. Now they still got himself 5 kills, 3 players remaining. Only our Chapo did bite the dust. Young Thunder, now for the very first time in ages, they're going to have to move forward. But they are in the reticule of Team Somalia, as they got to be very cautious as one little bit of an off-angle spray, and that could be the end of this team.
Oh man, looking at Troy with that True, rather with the Mosin, this could be a crazy play. This Mosin is just an absolute beast of a weapon. But it's going to be such a tough one to find that angle in between the carnage here. But that zone shifting up once again, moving a little bit further up into the northwest. This is now that opportunity for Team Somalia to try and get ahead. But are they going to be able to make a decent rotation?
This is what I'm saying. I am so surprised, though. I did not see Young Thunder actually try and pop that car. You want to make sure they can't cross that road. Leaving that car open and just healthy was allowing that rotation to come out in the first place. Beast is still going to be there for the team. Maybe going to try and actually get himself a little bit of a backstab. But Vindex from across the road makes it work out. Team Somalia will get eliminated at the very end. Only 4 teams currently remain as RRAGE absolutely shredding it in that fight in shelter. And Paula might be able to get himself a good final performance for his team on the second day of the finals. They do get eliminated. Influence Rage Africa out in 4. 3 teams still in a running. As Young Thunder down to 2, will have to face the wrath of the Drogons as still 4 players stand on that team. They are looking in such a good spot for this win.
Yeah, this is a really great game for the side of the Drogons here. And Dan the man sending up the grenades. And he finds it onto True. Now it's up to Romeo to try and see if he can make that play from behind the box. Pala applying a little bit of pressure coming in there from the north, but the grenades now being relentlessly tossed back and forth.
The first take, the second. Get it, Dan. Move away. He gets out. Dan, the man with a plan. And unfortunately, will not be naded away for Young Thunder. I will be able to hold on to his life. Another first aid will be coming out. The timing on that one was huge. I think that's an M249. Or is that no, that's a DP in the hands of Pala. Not the best clutch weapon in a 1v4, but still can do some severe damage as they're just going to be eking closer. Don't forget, we saw that happen for Storm on the first game. One pin of a grenade is enough of an audio cue to give your position away. So you better be careful. If you want to go for a nade, you better make it count.
It's going to be crazy. Oh, come on, Romeo. They're just trying to play the edge of that box. Shaky Boy now trying to position himself inside that zone. But Pala also just creeping his way on in. Trying to see if he can find a decent spot. The Molly's getting deployed once again. Oh, so close to true. Just barely, narrowly misses the damage coming in from that. But I mean, this is now game time. This is game on. Young Thunder, they're going to have to step this one up if they are looking to claim that winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, no fire hazard right now. Once again, we talked about this team. Young Thunder currently in 6. Get himself a good game here. They could be getting closer and even potentially take away 3rd place. But they're going to need a lot more kills to try and make that actually happen. So it might not be enough right now, but still a game that they desperately need. Ghost will go down to the play zone. Very unfortunate. That could have been actually avoided very, very easily, in my opinion. Young Thunder, there you go. The off-angle Pala. He had enough of waiting. He's going to pull the trigger. Picks up one. Goes for the confirm. But Pala gave the information away. Junior is still there, but he's currently the only remaining player there. Had 4 players, DK, and now they lost 3 of them in a matter of seconds. And now Pala has an opportunity, a real chance to result this game in a win for his team.
Well, this is going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, if Pala clutches this one, it's going to be absolutely insane. 10 kills already on board for the players there of RRAGE. Drogons sitting on 8 and Young Thunder sitting on 4. But Thunder and Romeo going to try and clear this up. But JR lands it, puts down Pala. Now it's a 1v2 fight for that winner chicken. The last one of the day, and JR. Woo!
Such a good idea. The grenade comes out. You dodge it. He dodges it in time. Gets right into the smoke. Drew going to try and close that gap. Pre-fire as much as possible. They can't even see one another. They are solo. One more bullet connects and it will be coming away of Drogons as Young Thunder get eliminated in second. Drogons, we said they struggled at the start today, DK, but they close it off with an absolute bang of a game. Young Thunder had the advantage. They had the 1v2. Romeo tried to go for the big brain play, try and go for a little bit of a 1-1 split. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. And that is a nice comeback from Drogons as they finish off day 2 with a chicken dinner coming their way.
I mean, man, that zone was just nutty. Like, it was insane.
On the road.
Yeah, like, what even is that? But beautiful play coming in there from Drogons, just staying cool, calm, and collected. And JR just sealing the deal, closing it out, and bringing home a winner chicken dinner. But he also was able to find 4 kills for himself. So really strong play coming in from the Drogons. 11 kills in total.
Yeah, most of those come out literally just at the very end too. So really good at presence from this team. Of course, it's one singular game, right? When you're looking at Drogons, they were in 13th place before this one. I believe we'll be able to see the rankings at the very end of the stream to see exactly where they currently position themselves. But this is a game that they needed because you touched upon it a few times, DK. After today, after this game, we're now at the 50% mark. Every game is going to have even less of an impact on your overall rankings. So you need to try and make points matter the earliest as possible, which is still happening on day 2. So still really good presence from Dragons. We'll see exactly where that is going to push them up. But I would not be surprised to see them potentially in top 6, top 7 at the very end of this one. So we'll see how things are going to be working out. But yeah, I think we had some teams that we especially were happy to see do well. Young Thunder, we talked about it also in 6th place. They had such a strong position, DK. And when you think about it, they made it really worth their time.
Yeah, they really, really did. And again, kudos to Drogons. I said it in the group stages. They really impressed me. Coming into the finals now, doing even more so. But I got to say, I'm pretty worried for the teams that are sitting a little bit lower on that leaderboard. The teams that we know can perform really well. Teams that we saw in the previous, in the spring split, sitting at the top end of that leaderboard, now sitting on the exact opposite end, sitting at the way bottom. And I'm a bit worried that, you know, they might not have enough time to try and make up for those loss of points.
Yeah, look at the turntables, man. Things are not looking too good. I'm gonna have to mention these two teams again, right? Blackjack Esports and Gun. I am flabbergasted by the fact that they are actually standing so low. Of course, 2 more days of play. If they just have a complete change of heart and they actually have a drastic change in how they execute their games and how they execute their strategies, especially, things could be working potentially in their way, but we need to see a change starting tomorrow. But before we go into tomorrow's games, of course, we need to look at the rankings to know exactly how things are going to be shaping for our third day of finals. And of course, as expected, DK, we're still going to have the 4KT squad on top of this lobby with 125 points. They're just making it look easy at this point, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely not untouchable, right? But they are making it so difficult. Wow, that's a weird sound. They're making it so difficult for anyone to, to really catch up with them. I mean, KHK, they've been trying their hardest. They obviously made quite a bit of an improvement on their standings just for today, but they're still not able to catch up just yet. And I mean, if we just look at the kill points coming in from Slime 4KT themselves, that is almost enough to just sit in 8th place.
That's the perfect number of kills, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. So actually, position point, should I say? So they're looking really comfortable. Of course, 2 wins to their name. We'll see how things are going to work out. RRAGE, big leap forward. Actually, currently standing 4th place, but before this game they went 8th. So they definitely put themselves in a good spot. And we also did see Drogons move out of the bottom 8 and are currently standing in 8th place on the first page. So great thing to see. As now to the second page, and as we talked about it, DK, right? This is where the big teams that did so good in the group stage are faltering, are struggling to catch up to the competition. That is going to be, of course, Gamers Unite Nation, Blackjack Esports, and I would even put Lag up there because this was the team that I thought could be a big surprise, but unfortunately, it seemed like they haven't found their mojo just yet.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at the players there from Rila Insider, coming into today, they were looking pretty good on that leaderboard. You know, had a decent position, decent spot to be in. But as the day progressed, you know, things just became a little bit harder. They started the day off in 5th place. They've now moved down all the way into 11th. So, yeah, this just shows you how challenging the finals is. It's not that easy for teams to just acquire those points unless you bring in an insane back-to-back chicken like we saw for 4KT. But aside from that, it's so difficult for these points to bring in that consistency all the way through. And, I mean, you're going to have to wait and see what the final 2 days have in store for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about teams that are currently on the second page and maybe struggling, how it's hard to climb back up in the 2 final days of play, right? But it also goes and works the other way around. If you're at the very top and you have 2 very poor performances on these 2 next days, things are going to work out. And of course, to know how that's going to work out, well, you're going to have to join us once again tomorrow, same time, same place over here on the stream to make sure you catch up on all this PMCO African action. You definitely don't want to miss out. It's going to be brought to you by myself, DK, and of course, the one and only James Banks. So definitely be there, be square tomorrow, same time, same place for our third day of the African PMCO finals here for the Full Split 2021. We'll see you later.
Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.